Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, tonight, the League of Ordinary Gentlemen proudly bring to you the Fantasy Football 5.
All right.
Introducing Balls to the Wall, Brian Roberts.
There he is.
Quick wit, slow feet, Ryan Robertson.
That me.
Jake, Coach Ruth.
That man.
And JT, the commish. Yeah! Ron, if you're going to be back, man, I need that, dude. I need to know somebody's always going to have that applause when we need it. Yeah! All right, double applause, even better. So how we doing, boys? Yay! Thank you, Ryan. Thank you, Ryan. Okay, well.
If you do the whole show like that.
So, Ryan, who you got this week?
I think I'm going to take myself. Yay! All right, so tonight we're going to do a little pick three action right off the top. So the pick three for tonight is a little, I guess, superpower action. So if you can pick three, I guess, superhuman abilities, what three superhuman abilities are you going to pick?
So I'm picking three more.
You gonna pull it up on your screen?
Yeah, I am. You go pick three more? You've already got three? How many have you got, Brian?
I got more.
Super tardiness.
Yeah, Brian Patrick time.
That's not what Ryan.
All right, so just taking a look at our. So we got to pick 3 out of 12. We got to pick 3 out of 12. You guys can see what we got on the screen: flight, super speed, healing, time manipulation, invisibility, super strength, mind control,
Slow down, you're talking too fast.
telekinesis, teleportation, shape shifting, super intelligence.
That one guy's
have one
got
of
3 faces.
All right, Brian Patrick Roberts.
What up, Big Daddy?
You speak as if you already own some of these abilities.
I do.
Okay. So which ones do you own as of right now? Time manipulation?
No. Time gets me in trouble.
Teleportation? Because you drive so fast?
No.
So are you saying time is
That would be
not
super
on your
speed.
side?
You want to go?
Yes, it is.
It's never on my side.
Is on.
All right, so if you got to pick 3
Yes,
more,
Super intelligent.
that's what you already have?
Telekinesis.
So you can move stuff with your mind.
Now, what about telekinesis, though?
I just said telekinesis.
Now, he said move stuff with your mind. Which one are you picking?
Telekinesis.
What's telekinesis?
Moving stuff with your mind, but he doesn't apparently have super intelligence.
Boom!
I'm not understanding.
Exactly. Super
course.
intelligence marked off.
All right, yeah, that one's off the
That
board.
one's gone.
All right, so you got to pick 3 of these. Which ones are you picking?
Flight.
You picking flight?
Mind control. For obvious reasons we're all thinking about, but
No.
no. And invisibility.
Elasticity
Visibility.
of your
No, not
city.
invisibility.
Of your city.
Time manipulation. I need that. For work purposes, I need that.
He needs
Yeah, you
that.
definitely need that. So Brian is going flight,
Or fight.
mind control,
Yes, sir.
time manipulation.
In case mind control doesn't work, that one or the time control, I can go to work and they'll say, "Are you late?" And I can do this, and I'll say, "I wasn't late." And they'll say, "Man, you're early."
So you just want
It's gonna-
Jedi mind tricks.
Why not?
These are not the droids you were looking for.
All right, Rob, what 3 are you picking to make your ultimate superhero?
Elasticity makes things better.
Elasticity.
You need
of
that.
our city. Of our city.
No, blood is on the wall. How you want disorder? Disorder.
Wow, young rabbit. Okay, so what I was gonna pick.
Wait a minute. Why do y'all all look at me when y'all sing in unison? Why is it
Because
just?
you're the only one not
That's
singing.
kind of the way it goes.
And these are the breaks.
Conductor. All right, Rob, which one did you pick?
I'm picking 2 of the 3 that Brian picked.
All right, which are?
Time manipulation,
And?
mind control,
Okay.
and my 3rd one is teleportation.
Teleportation. Why teleportation?
Because why do I need to have flight or super speed when I can just make myself be in another place instantly?
But if you can manipulate time, like, can't you, like, do you need teleportation?
But you can't be in multiple places at once.
Unless you're Hermione Granger.
Or
who
the zombie.
manipulated time.
But you can do it. If you do it more than 3 turns, you end up. Man, it's not a good situation. They write about it. It's not good. That's why they destroyed all the time turners in the Order of the Phoenix down their Department of Mystery, so they could close that loophole. JK said she made a mistake opening that can of worms, and then they brought them right back in Cursed Child. But you know what I'm talking about.
J.K. Rowling, fan of the podcast.
So is Robert
Order of
Galbraith.
the Phoenix. Which one was Order of the Phoenix?
That's
Order of the
Harry
Phoenix.
Potter. That's fifth,
Order of the
yeah.
Phoenix number 5.
I told you I finally watched it.
What'd you think?
I'm proud of you.
You like him?
What he said. if
That's right.
if I had watched them,
When you were growing up?
yeah, during their time, I probably would have enjoyed them. I didn't think it was terrible.
No, they're good. They're good.
The first two, the acting was awful.
Yeah, they're young. I'm not big on the
Awful.
first 2 movies.
It was, even the adult actors weren't that good.
No, I'm not big on the first 2 movies.
But I don't think
On the
they
later
really.
movies?
I don't think they had the budget for it starting out.
And the directors were garbage.
Right, and once it actually caught on, I think it. Probably,
What was your favorite one? Just curious. I know
man, I can't tell you. I just watched them late at night while I was trying to go to sleep. During COVID.
You watched
COVID.
all of them at night?
Yeah.
Same night?
He don't.
No, I
sleep.
can't do that.
That's true.
I watched 2 a night.
Okay. All right, Jake. What 3 powers, abilities are you picking?
I'm gonna go flight,
Okay.
strength,
Okay.
shape shifting.
All right. So flight,
Wait.
strength, and shape shifting. All right.
Why shape shifting?
Because I feel like you could.
Look
I mean,
like me.
well, you could take on many different kind of shapes.
Okay.
So it's episode in Supernatural first.
Actually, that's what I
It
thought
is.
about the most was
Yeah.
supernatural and how much. And then
But
I
you saw how
started thinking,
disgusting it is.
well, I
I
mean,
was thinking
I
Rogue
feel like in
from
some ways
X-Men.
that's a way of being even invisible because you can change your appearance to kind of go into
Would you
someone
rather
that
just
don't-
be invisible?
no, because I would
Well, now,
rather
hold
be
on a
able to go into someone I would want to be like.
Possible loophole here.
So I could like shapeshift into my
Obama.
and feel what it looks like.
If you are the
Man, if I was a shapeshifter, I'd be Joe Biden in a heartbeat and just find a camera. Just
Alright.
give me 5 minutes.
And that's our one per podcast.
Okay.
All right. If you're a shapeshifter and there is an invisible man, could you shapeshift into said invisible man and have both of them check both boxes?
I agree with that. Here's my thing. All right, can you shapeshift into anything you can imagine or anything?
No,
you've
because I
seen?
didn't pick that as one of my
Yeah,
3.
anything. No. The role of shapeshifting has to be something you've seen.
Okay,
But it could
that's-
be. It could be like me looking at Jake, turning into Jake, or if there's a picture of somebody on the wall, me seeing that picture.
So
I
even
can
if I
turn
saw
it
it
has
Michael
to be-
Jordan on television, I could.
Yeah, you can do that.
All right, but if he doesn't see Michael Jordan on television, can he shapeshift in Michael
Now,
Jordan?
question.
No, he can, but it's like your mind takes that picture. It's
Okay,
like doing a 3D
okay, all right,
print.
okay. All right,
Now,
fair
if the
enough.
first time I ever see Michael Jordan is in a suit on TV,
That's
and he
what you
had
start
and he
out with.
had a lower back tattoo, when I shapeshift into him, am I gonna automatically have that lower back tattoo because I didn't see
I
it?
hope you
I
have
don't.
that tramp stamp.
No. Are you saying MJ's got a lower back?
I said
tattoo?
if.
That would add to your previous tramp stamps.
That sunflowers over the left cheek. That's not a tramp stamp.
I'm running.
What is that called?
A left cheek tap.
That's called a mistake.
An
Fair enough.
LCT.
You
All
didn't
right.
say that the other night.
Oh,
I made a lot of mistakes.
Jake
this
got a
week.
matching one. You trimmed your mustache.
I trimmed my whole beard.
You look like a Spaniard the way you did that mustache. I like it.
Hey,
Fair enough, man.
Russell Crowe is
Don't
the
let him
Spaniard on Gladiator.
I'm not.
That was a
Look,
positive comment.
Look. He said, "Do something
We're
different with your hair." I'm not gonna say you pulling it off.
I think you told him about your hair. I
I
don't
did.
think he asked.
Well,
Yeah, I did know. You
He
were wearing
said
a
I
hat
was
when you
pulling
walked
it
in.
off. He said I was pulling it off. All I did was, boys, I'm just gonna be honest with
You
you.
know what he's going for.
I'm parting my hair in a little bit different way.
Straight down the middle, boys.
You're going for the Christian Bale.
No, the Tyler McSwain.
The Christian Slater.
No, I'm not.
More accurate.
The Christian Slater.
Yeah.
Just don't grow your hair long.
No, honestly,
You like the
Captain America when he had long hair.
No, you know who you look like? Mighty Ducks 2, Iceland's coach.
Ooh.
If there was ever a
Nailed
villain
it.
team to pull for, would that be the villain team to pull for?
But also,
Nah,
Emilio
Monstars.
Estevez
The
does the same
Monstars.
thing because he says,
Emilio!
"Oh, nice haircut. You get 2
Wow.
pairs of pants with
Don't
that?"
worry about them. Everybody's going to hear all of it.
The
I'll choose
Monstars
which ones
are
I
the
listen
villain
to.
team to choose for
Why?
because they're open air in the music part, man.
But it's a crappy amusement park.
Yeah.
For who? For humans? Yeah, maybe.
Hey, did we get a parental advisory on the YouTube for me dropping an F-bomb?
We got flagged.
We did get
Did we?
flagged?
Nah, I'm just kidding.
I don't know. People
I
listen
don't
to it
know.
like
All right, here's mine. Ultimate superhero. Here you go. Here's the 3.
Hey, let's talk about some football now. You already talked about some football?
Yeah, I don't know.
We got jump
It's
in.
already matchup.
We already got 3 superheroes. Do we need 4? I mean, come on.
He's got his own podcast.
What's
He can
our
do
What's our
something.
first matchup this week, JT? No, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
All right.
All right, I'm glad y'all did.
Ultimate superhero.
Yeah. Now, because you're so excited, we're going to have to go into detail as to why you picked all three.
Super strength.
Why?
So nobody fucks with you. Because nobody with the strongest dude. Because they know they might get their whipped.
You know what they do? They just wait for that super strong guy to fall asleep, and then they shoot him in the sleep.
All right, time manipulation.
We're going
So
back
then
to
I'm
Harry
never
Potter.
sleeping when other people are sleeping.
Except
Hold
for
on, what does
if
that
you're
mean?
watching
I'm never sleeping.
sleepers.
I'm never sleeping when people are awake. Boom, there you go.
Okay.
And number 3.
Now, hold on a second.
Wait, you picked number 2 just to be a protection at number 1?
Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you stack these to become the ultimate superhero?
But what about-
your second trait is a defensive trait?
Stop.
I would
Okay.
be aggressive all
If
the
you're
way
super
through.
strong, you might be able to, like, Man of Steel, bullets don't phase you anyway, so why would you even need that?
No, that's
That's
invulnerability. That's
Yeah, that's
invulnerability,
different.
son.
That's different.
But going back to you're never sleeping when other people are awake. Type. What about Santa?
Oh, he sees
He
you.
sees you when you're sleeping, and he knows when you're awake.
Hell,
And that's why I also have super intelligence.
Now, hold on a second. I think Santa also has time manipulation because he can travel the whole world in one night.
This opens up a whole can of worms, right? Is Santa a superhero?
Long story
for
short,
sure.
you're trying to be Santa.
You saying he's not
He's
super
not.
strong?
You,
He can carry every toy in the world over his shoulder, and he's in at least 500, 600
And
years
you
old.
know he's super strong.
You know what else he can do?
My big ass was sitting
Why?
on him growing up.
Those reindeer are just fake.
All right, I'm just gonna say what we're all thinking. Santa Claus is the ultimate superhero.
I've been saying that for years.
Jesus is. Way to go, Baptist.
He's not a superhero. He's a god. He's the god.
Yeah, that's
He's
good.
the ultimate.
No, they're not gods. Superheroes are not gods.
And they're super. And they're
It's a
heroes.
false god.
Jesus is my hero, and he's super. Superhero, I win.
Okay. All right.
And that's the last time we hear Brian on the night.
All right. So, what you all came for? A little League of Ordinary Gentlemen fantasy football talk. So, here's what we got, boys. We've got 5 weeks in the books. We are on week 6 as we speak. Well, I shouldn't say that because we didn't have a Thursday night game this week. So technically, we're not in week 6 just yet.
We're in the transition period between 5 and 6.
We are hopefully, the only night this year without Thursday night football, other than week 17. But we're not.
Well, the
Which
reason
one's
why
good?
we didn't get Thursday is because we got Tuesday.
We did get Tuesday.
And the reason why you can't play on Thursday is if a team plays on Tuesday and they're supposed to play on Thursday, not enough turnaround for old Buffalo.
Not enough turnaround. Definitely not. So here's what we're looking at standings wise after the first 5 weeks of fantasy football play. So in first place, we have the fantasy phenoms, Ryan Robertson.
Yay!
Boo.
Boo.
I hate you guys.
Good job, buddy.
Number 2,
Number 2.
we have Jordan of Jordan's team.
Change your team name.
Of the Powell legend.
Hasn't it been like that for 2 years?
Yeah,
It's been
it's
like
gone
that
that
since
far.
he came
So
back in.
ridiculous.
In third, we have question mark.
Baba Booey, Baba Booey.
Baba Booey, Baba Booey.
Rans Diddy Bo.
Andrew Ransdale. In fourth, we have Turd Sandwiches, Jake Root.
Dropping them on you every week.
In fifth,
Randy.
Josh Broach of Autobahn Time.
Crush it.
Still one of the coolest things I've seen on a golf course.
Proud of you. Proud of you, Broach.
And then he tried it again and literally hit it into the ground, popped up and
I remember that. I
was
watched
awesome.
that.
That was so awesome.
That was great.
Present.
Tell the story.
So Josh Broach is the ultimate captain's choice player to have with you.
Yeah, he
because
is.
He can absolutely mash off the tee box, and so
I'll
he
say
hit one of the furthest drives I've ever seen in person. Would y'all agree with that? Par
Guesstimate.
I
five.
wasn't on y'all's team. I just saw the second half of that.
380.
I'm pretty sure
Really?
he
380
he
yards.
cleared-
He can
was-
smash.
he
It was
cleared-
going downhill too, so it was
Yeah,
straight?
Yeah.
yeah.
He can
all-
smash.
He hit it, and literally as he did, he kind of walked forward and yelled out Autobahn Time, and we're all in awe. Like, no, I think the rest of us just put our clubs in the bag. Like, if we're not hitting, what's the point?
I teed off first because I'm like, all right, I don't hit it far, but I'm gonna try to hit it straight. Hit it straight down the middle. I was like, all right, boys, go crazy. Broach went up next, destroyed it.
Broach literally did his like no excitement, no emotion. He says, "I think I got this," and walks up, puts it in, takes 2 little practice swings, steps up, and kind of rocked the club. And he roared back. And as it came through, it literally it got into slow motion, like the wind behind the clubs just
Time manipulation.
Yo, it was for sure. And when it hit,
super strength.
it was a boom. And like I said, him walking through and kind of punching the air and yelling out AutoBahn Time was awesome.
And the other two picked up their golf balls and
Yeah,
put it in their
I was
pocket
like,
and
nah,
went
I'm
back
not
to the
doing
cart.
And then the next time, I think it was 18 where we told him to do it again. Yeah. And
it didn't happen.
No, he swung even harder.
So hard.
Dude, he did. And that thing, I guess his club was elevated and it topped the ball and the ball went straight into the ground. And usually mine would just get buried or just kind of like dribble off to the side. His hit so hard, it popped straight up in the air. And as it's going up, he like grabs it out of the middle there. I mean, caught it as it was still going up. It just goes, not this time or something like that. It wasn't this one.
A net of 1 yard.
It was great.
Oh, it was
funny.
Annette's a great golfer in her own right.
If you had seen it, it would have been awesome.
All right, so in 6th place, we have Brian Roberts, victim of the system.
Forever.
And always.
Will be.
In 7th,
System.
bye week, Steve Reitmeyer.
Come back.
God.
Don't call it that.
In 8th, it's your boy, Cult of Personality.
Shaboing.
JT the Commish.
Oh, bang, bang.
In 9, we have Andrew Speary, Scorp. And in 10th place,
Nestled.
we have Michael Smith
My boy.
of
My
the
buddy.
08 Lions.
That's a good name.
That is a good name.
I like it, Mike.
Just own it. Just own
But
it.
if he wins a week, he's got to change it.
Then what was it going to be? The 2007 Miami Dolphins?
Yeah, something like that.
Whatever the
Yeah, that's
Panthers
right.
were when we had Jimmy Clausen.
Yeah. 2010 Carolina Panthers.
What are you doing?
I really like Jimmy Clausen, dude. And he sucked.
JT.
That might be the worst quarterback.
That's been your only college pick, right?
Look, that's why I don't watch college football, dude.
Because of Jimmy
Yeah.
Clausen?
No, because everybody that I like sucks.
Look, realistically, the Panthers knew Clausen was going to suck. They drafted 4 quarterbacks that year.
No, they didn't. They didn't
Yeah.
have 4 quarterbacks.
Armani was technically a quarterback, even though they switched.
All right, who's the other 3?
Tony Pike.
Vinny
there's one more.
Testaverde's grandson.
No, there's one
No,
more.
they drafted.
I only
There's
know
one more.
They drafted Tony Pike, Jimmy Clausen, and Amari Evans.
Yeah, I thought
There's
it was
one more.
There's not enough.
There's one more.
They did not draft 4
There's
quarterbacks.
one more.
Guaranteed.
Technology run.
All right, Ryan, look it up then.
Okay.
All right, so that is the standings after 5 weeks. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to visit a little bit of. Let's look at draft day projections first. I think that's fair, right?
That's fair.
Then we'll look at current projections,
That's fair.
and then power rankings is essentially current projections.
That's fair.
Okay. So draft day projections. This is what draft day had, or excuse me, this is what Yahoo had on draft day. So
Great.
in first place, what do you think it is?
Brian Roberts. I voted him as the best draft at the draft.
I didn't think it was. That was
Scorp?
I think it was Jordan. Was it Jordan?
No, it wasn't.
I can't
Jordan.
remember.
Not with those running backs.
I can't
Not
remember who
those
Yahoo
running backs.
picked. Jordan was up near top.
No.
All right, Ryan, who do you think is who had the number
Yahoo
one projection?
picked Jordan
draft
up near
day.
the top. Not us.
I just,
Yahoo.
On draft
I just saw
day?
it, so no.
Andrew, Ransdale, or Brian.
Okay. And you don't. Who do you think it was?
I don't know. Jake's getting frustrated with me.
All right, Brian, it was you. You were the draft day projection champion. In number 2, we had Ransdale. Number 3, we had Turd Sandwiches, Jake Ruth. And then, we can kind of go down the list from there. Score, Fantasy Phenoms, George's Team, Cult of Personality, AutoBahn Time, Bye Week 08 Lions. Now,
That's pretty spot on with him, wasn't it?
let me show you the current projections. So that there is the draft day projections. Okay.
Yeah.
This is before injuries, right?
This is
Before everything.
This is
Yeah.
when I put in the draft results.
Okay.
So this is, our draft day plus 1 day. Current projections. Here's what we got. Number 1, victim of the system.
Still.
Steal.
Forever.
Number 2, steal. Baba Booey, Baba Booey.
Andrew Ransdale.
Andrew Ransdale.
Big jump.
Now here's where it gets a little different. Number 3, Scorp. Number 4, Turd Sandwiches.
Hey guys.
Number 5, Jordan's Team. All 3, 4, and 5 all tied with the same record according to Yahoo.
Okay.
Number 6, Fantasy Phenoms at 7 and 6. Also tied with J-Bro, AutoBahn Time, 7 and 6. So there is 1 through 7. So that last playoff spot, according to Yahoo, right now,
Who's it going to?
Stephen Reitmeyer.
it's me and Reitmeyer.
You both can't have it.
4 and 9. That's what they're projecting us as. They're projecting us to only get 2 more wins the rest of the season. 4 and 9.
Do you play Mike the rest of the year?
I play Michael one more time.
Is that the win?
You get to play Michael twice?
Yeah, I played him first week.
Is that the week he gives you? Your next win?
I don't know. It don't go that in
I
deep.
played him week 2, so I get him again too.
You do get him again. You get your first 3 opponents twice.
I don't remember.
Oh, you're projected to win this week.
I have the highest projection this week.
You sure do.
But I don't know. It has me only winning 2 more. Maybe Yahoo is wiser than I. That's why I wanted super intelligence. So I can outsmart Yahoo.
So you're saying Yahoo
That's
has the upper hand right now?
Yeah.
It's got you beaten right.
Yeah.
Yahoo has the upper hand, and they used to have those commercials. Yahoo!
That was catchy.
Stupid.
It's catchy, though. And then in 10th place, we have Michael Smith, though.
Yeah,
But
he is projected to win one.
it does have him projected to win one. So who does Michael beat?
Me.
He beat you?
Yeah, it's going to happen.
It's going to
You want
happen.
to go through and look at the weeks?
Yeah.
Well,
Let's
Well,
look
some
at
of
it.
them don't have lineups altered for.
Right. All right, so Michael has scored this week. There's still a couple guys he hadn't got it. Well, hold on. Let's look.
He's
at
got a wide receiver tight end slot empty.
Okay, so he's got a
Flex.
flex empty. Okay. So does Michael win this week?
I ain't looked at it.
I don't know.
I'll play him next week.
All right. So who does Michael beat? In week 7? Fantasy Phenoms. Is this the week Michael gets his first win?
Mm-hmm.
You think so?
If Saquon comes back from a torn ACL or whatever he had,
I don't think he's going
I'm
to.
just kidding.
All right, in week
It
8,
might.
Michael has victim of the system.
It ain't probably going to be that week.
Oh,
It's gonna
big
be-
guy over here ain't gonna beat me.
Look at me. I have a chair.
Week 9, Michael plays. Baba Booey.
Andrew.
Week 10, Michael plays. Colder personality. He might beat me that week, dude.
I'll see that week.
Not looking too good that week.
Week 11, Michael plays Scrabble.
Oh, yeah, you got Pat and Kelsey on a bye that week.
All right, that's the week that Michael's projected to win.
Now, I got a question. Why are you patting Kelsey?
And
who is Kelsey?
You?
And who is Kelsey?
Wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Depends
I
on-
mean, I don't know many Kelseys.
I don't really know.
Kelsey Grammer?
I'd still pat him.
Would you?
Ooh,
Why
and he's
not?
got James Conner going against Cincinnati.
That's probably the week that he's going to win.
Hey, nowhere else are you going to get in-depth analysis 4 weeks.
No, nowhere
You know
in
what?
the fantasy football world.
But, I mean, you
Except
do
for
have...
3 of us have time manipulation.
Ooh, Derrick Henry's going against Indy that week.
Well,
But you got Kareem Hunt going against Houston.
you know what?
That could be
We're
good.
talking about all this.
Yeah.
The Chargers had 5 weeks of their schedule already changed from what it was originally, so there's no guarantee that these
That's
schedules
true.
will be the same.
That's true.
Are they going to lose?
Oh, they're going to lose every game.
Hey, you think so?
No.
It was worth the
Jake
shot.
brought it up the other night. What you really... Now, you got a couple weeks of him. Your Herbert thoughts.
Same on draft night. I really like his potential. He's got a lot.
Can he win you a Super Bowl?
No, because he
Not
plays
on
for
the
the
current
Chargers.
not on the current roster, but I think he's
Yeah,
a good enough game manager. And if you get a running game established with a guy that can hit a home run ball like that, yes, you can.
He throws well under pressure. Just
He-
let-
Two different sports, Jake.
All I really think about that one is don't try to make him be a gunslinger. Like, I think you give him his opportunities to make big plays, but I don't think you're going to be like he needs to throw it like what Atlanta's done with Matt Ryan in a lot of sense. Like,
if he
don't
throws
try to turn it
the ball
into
50 times, they're not going to win that often.
Yeah, Justin Herbert's looked good so far. He had those 4 touchdowns on Monday Night Football the other night. I mean, that was that's the first time that a rookie had thrown for 4 touchdowns on Monday night.
Yep,
football.
there were 3 or 4 people that had done it. Had 3. He had 3 at halftime in a loss.
All right, so is it that time?
To buy our own dip.
No.
Yes, it is.
I'll never do that. I'll never do
It
that.
is.
Is it that time
For what?
I don't know what we're talking
for this week's week
Right.
6 matchup preview?
Oh, we can do that tonight. Yeah. hell
Yeah, let's do
yeah,
that
sure.
All right, so let's take a look at the matchups we had in week 6. All right, so our first matchup for tonight, let's pick one. We'll go with not matchup of the week. We'll say matchup for the week for last. All right, let's start off with Victim of the System versus Jordan's team. A 6 versus 2 matchup with Brian as the favorite, 125 to 112, a 61% favor according to Yahoo. Ryan, what is something that stands out in this matchup? One difference maker you see?
Difference maker?
Yeah. For either team, either what Jordan would, somebody Jordan would have to have go off, or just somebody you see on Brian's team that's just going to be hard to beat.
It's the same time. Every time I look at Jordan's matchups, if Lamar Jackson actually plays like an MVP, he's got a shot. Other than that, he's needed a low scoring week from Brian, I feel like.
Is Lamar Jackson a disappointment so far?
I think he's still like the number 6 quarterback, but
He's had some tough games.
he, I think, threw for 150 yards the other day. He threw for under 100 against the Chiefs.
Yeah.
And he only ran the ball, I think, 3 times or had 3 rushing yards or something last week, which was not. That's not why you drafted him.
I think it's week 2. He had 9 attempts.
I think last week he might only had like 3 yards.
We can pull that up.
I don't think this is who his lineup will be on Sunday.
Yeah, last week he had 2 rushes for 3 yards and 180 passing yards.
All right, I'm going to
You
pull
think
up
he's
the
gonna put
game
Phillip
log
Lindsay
right
in?
now.
No.
He'll put Julio,
Oh,
in
Julio
or
will
Michael.
go in.
Julio's
Yeah,
playing.
Julio.
That dude's in.
All
Which
right,
I think
so
they took him off the designated or off the injury designation.
All right, question: if Julio plays, does he take out Landry or Devontae Freeman?
I'll take out Landry.
Take out Landry.
Yeah.
Leave Devontae Freeman in your flex. Possible.
Pittsburgh's got a good defense.
Jake, what do you see in this matchup that stands out to you?
I'm going to keep bragging on Jordan's receiving core. You know, I know he's kind of rolling with Freeman right now. I think Washington's defense has looked pretty good. I know guy right here next to me picked up Washington's defense. I don't know if I start Freeman. I don't know if I start Landry against Pittsburgh. I think you could see Judy get moved into his lineup. I could see Jones get moved in, maybe even Phillip Lindsay. I think he'll make a couple of changes to his roster. I mean, Jordan, that's where he's going to have to win, as Ryan was saying a while ago. And if he gets running back play good, Singletary have been good for him since the trade until last week, where I think he got 2 points. But meanwhile, Gibson's been kind of breaking out again. So is it going to be consistent? Is that dude going to become in like a 10 to 15 point consistent per week kind of guy? I feel like Jordan's still kind of like reaching for that running back, which I understand because of how strong his receiving core is.
I've offered him a couple trades for CEH. We'll see what he thinks.
All right, so maybe we can have a trade in the works there. I don't like the Gronk play this week. I guess he had to do it. I think I'd start.
Don't want to do it. Got to do it.
I think I start Higbee over Gronk. I don't think Brady's looking that way near as much.
Start Gronk.
So
Higbee's looked terrible.
Yeah, Higbee
hasn't
hasn't been good either.
Higbee had 1 week where he scored 3 touchdowns. He's been under 6 every other game.
But I'm with Jake. I would
drop it.
the potential wise, I would do Higbee over Gronk.
There are better free agents at the tight end position, I think, than Gronk. But Gronk's got that name attached to him, so everybody thinks he's still going to be good.
This is where Brian just separates. His receivers are just as good as Jordan's. Jamison Crowder's the only fantasy value in New York at all, and now they don't have a running back. They hadn't had a running back.
They have Frank Gore.
Okay,
you don't have to say fantasy. He's the only football player of value.
Jamison will probably meet that projection or go over that just off receptions and yards. Yeah, just off that. If he gets a touchdown, he'll greatly exceed that. If Julio's playing, that means Calvin Ridley's going to get even more looks, which his fantasy production goes up. Hope to
Should
goodness
start Matt Ryan this week?
No,
you don't take Murray out.
not against Dallas.
Murray's leading the league in rushing yards right now, right?
know.
As a quarterback.
As a quarterback, yeah. I think
Yes,
he is.
sorry for.
I mean, if he's right, he could be up there.
You don't take Murray out.
I know.
No. Stop overthinking it.
But
You put Robbie Anderson on the bench. That's the crazy thing to me.
I had to.
No, you didn't.
Godwin's back.
Who would you take
Yeah,
out
I don't
Jake,
know.
if you would have put?
I don't know if Godwin's going to be on a limitation. I don't know
if Godwin's in the lineup though, you can't bench him.
If I had a bench one,
say practice in full.
If I had a bench one, honestly, that's who I would look at. Because Crowder's just been that big of a target machine, and they're going to be behind all the time, anyways.
I think Green Bay's the highest scoring team in the league.
Roberts, it sounds like you need to make a
They
trade.
got different options.
Maybe too much depth.
I can't.
I'm saying that's going to be a high scoring
I'm
team.
just now starting to get healthy enough to where I can put a guy on my bench I'd have to think about.
Well, he ain't even got his full team back yet.
No, I'm still missing
Yeah,
guys.
but you might run into the problem where you got too much depth and it's hard to set your start.
Name-
No, I got
Name one guy that you got that you would
the
be
only
playing.
change I would make out of my current lineup with injuries is that
Tight end.
Crowder would go to the bench, Robinson or Mostert would go to the flex, and McCaffrey's going to take one of those running back spots.
Yeah, but you're missing a tight end.
Now hold on. Do you really think
I got
McCaffrey's going to get his job back over Mike Davis? You seen that guy?
I know most rushing yards in his tenure as a starting running back. He's got the most rushing yards out of running backs.
You know what that tells me? Christian McCaffrey has been a system player, and that Mike Davis is just as good, if not better.
You think it's a Josh Norman effect on the
For
offensive
sure.
side?
For sure. It's like a plug and play. It's like a Shanahan offense.
And whatever it is, McCaffrey's locked up for a little while, so I think he'll still be all
Oh no, he's squeaky clean off the field. He ain't getting locked up.
right. All right.
Now that Cleveland running back though.
Brian, is there a player on Jordan's team matchup wise that you're a little worried about? Like, oh man, this guy could really go off and be a problem.
Look, we've looked at him every week. We've picked Jordan to lose most of the time, and he just got his first loss this past week.
You're welcome.
So the whole team just somehow finds a way to put up enough points against the guy they're going against. It's the reverse effect of me.
I told you he's a redheaded magician.
You won last week, so I don't know what you're complaining about.
Finally, yeah, but I'm before the start of last week. Before the start of last week, I was in first in points by a long shot, and I was ninth in standings.
Mm-hmm.
Jordan was first in standings and ninth in points.
Y'all should have played each other last week. That's what I'm hearing.
So, well, it's just,
Jordan, I think Jordan was not last in points. He was second to last.
Yeah,
that's what we said,
Yeah.
ninth.
Sorry.
Brown was ninth in standings,
Yeah.
first in
Yeah,
points.
yeah.
So there's
Jordan
not
was first in standings.
there's
ninth
not
in
one
points.
player that you look at and you're like, oh man, this guy.
That scares me?
Yeah.
Against my guys, no.
I like the Diggs matchup.
Lamar and Steven
Diggs
Diggs.
is the one.
Lamar
that,
Jackson, Steven Diggs.
Diggs the one I'm
Stephon
looking
Diggs.
at because KC, like, if KC's coming off a loss and like
He plays
trying to prove a
quarterback.
point, trying to put up some monster points, Buffalo's going to have to try to match that, so they're going to throw the ball a lot. That's the only.
This is Lamar. Lamar could have a big week, but Kyler's going to have a big week. He's going against Dallas.
Should, yeah.
Right.
If Dallas is smart, though,
No, I should.
they will have time manipulation.
I've been arguing for him to do this for how many weeks, though?
One.
I hadn't heard you say anything. Like you're like, oh man, Tony Pollard's really good, but does he need that many carries?
You talking
I
about
don't
when
know.
we've been talking about how Jake's been saying they need to do more balanced offense
They said what, one time?
twice maybe,
Yeah.
and we said he needs to put more emphasis on talking about that.
Yeah.
And he doesn't. He never brings it up. You know what? It's because you're humble, and a lot of people look at it as a weakness. It's your strength.
You humble. I'm not sure what that means.
Be humble.
He's humble.
He's humble. That makes more sense.
Yeah.
I thought you humble was one word.
No, you're humble. He's humble.
Humble.
If I was talking to you about him, I'd say he's. I'm talking to him, I'd say yeah.
He's.
Yes.
All right. So in our
Let's
first
round this
matchup,
up.
victim of the system versus Jordan's team, who you got, Jake?
Brian.
Thank you, Jake. Now I took the magic off of Jordan last week. 'cause
You
I-
did, dude. You might have.
Because Ryan's got the magic stick.
I got the magic in me.
Oh, I thought you was going
Every
50 Cent,
time I
Lil'
touch
Kim.
No, but that's what he's going to do with that magic stick.
I'm the magic stick. I'm the love doctor. No. All right. Victim of the system. I'm going, Brian.
All right. I guess I'll pick next since you are in question.
Since you already questioned.
In question. I'll go Brian here as well. And Mr. Rock. Who are you going?
Jordan.
Why are you going Jordan?
Contrarian.
So I can be right or win. One of the two is going to happen.
All
Can I
right, fair enough.
propose something real quick?
Yes.
Before we.
Been waiting for years, buddy.
Commissioner, is there any way that you could go back through our
I
our
thought we were going for a
predictions?
vote. A mutiny.
And give us a standings how we're doing. Yeah, I'll have that for you next week.
That'd
The
be
only
awesome.
problem with that is I missed like 3 Monday shows or 3 Saturday shows.
I guess you're not
So
going to be in the
I
league.
might not be in the
We
league. We
know
can do
who's
We can
Yeah.
look
percentages.
win percentage.
We could do win percent. We could go 20-20 baseball.
Yeah, we
Go
could.
straight winning percentage.
All right, next on our matchup list, we have Scorp in 9th place versus the 08 Lions in 10th place. It's the only
Talk
place.
about time manipulation.
Yeah. It's the only place the 08 Lions belong.
How much did he spend on Andy Dalton?
We can go back and look at that.
Who was that?
Score.
Let's
Struck out.
see. He spent
I didn't look this week on everyone's bids.
$16.
Wow.
$16.
Scorp,
And he
you got a
spent
lot.
31 on Claypool.
What, Scorp, you spent all your money this week?
He's got $13 left. He does have the lowest by $1. Reitmeyer has 14. All right, let's take a look at this matchup.
You obviously haven't been listening to the podcast because I picked up the best guy on waivers this week.
We'll talk about that in our matchup.
All right,
This match.
Brian, looking at this matchup, Scorp and the 08 Lions, what is a couple things that stand out to you?
Sanders back in the lineup. Claypool's in the lineup. Andy Dalton's in the lineup.
So a lot of
Madison's
changes.
in the lineup.
So a lot of I guess weekly changes.
Yeah, a lot of changes.
A lot of turnover.
Yeah.
For better or for worse.
For better.
Okay.
What are we doing? For better, for worse? We're talking about proposals. Somebody got wedding fever.
He's the only one that's married, and I can tell you it's not me
Well,
that he's married to.
Guess who
fellas.
smells it dealt it? Am I right? I'm so.
I think he made great moves last week
He's
to
a
set
dancer.
himself up for the playoffs.
He's a dancer.
I think I'm with Jake. I think he reached a little bit this week.
Mhm.
You don't want to go into the back half of your season with $13 if something happens to anybody, because then you're solely relying on trades at that point, or that the rest of the league's going to be dumb enough to not put in a waiver claim on a guy to put $15, $20 on. It's like Andrew Ransdale drafting Mike Trout,
Christian Yelich.
or was it
That's
Christian
who he
Yelich?
spent all
Yeah.
his money on.
With a, what was it, a $270 limit? You
it's
spent
some-
$240
or
on
I
it?
something
think he
like
spent
that.
94% of his budget on one player.
Ended up being a really good player.
It's not that bad, but he's strapped now. He's
Yeah.
put himself in the corner a little bit. Now, if these guys work out, what does it matter what we think?
They made it to the NFL. You don't think they work out?
Claypool's not going to put up 4 touchdowns a game.
Obviously.
Deontay
Obviously.
Johnson-
He's not going to put up 2 most games.
Deontay Johnson's out
obviously.
again. So
Right.
he's going to have the same role he had
But
last
is
week.
Deontay Johnson out for the rest of the year?
No, I'm just saying he's out this week.
That's when I would put that amount of money in on a guy. If Deontay Johnson's gone,
but
sell the farm.
But
But
if you don't, all I want to know is who had the second highest bid on Claypool? Do you think it was in the 20s?
you can
I
look that up, right?
I put it in.
Yeah, I can
I'll go
find
ahead
it.
and tell you I put 25 in on him because I have
Okay. So if you really want them, you
Like
put
I
in the right
Deontay.
amount.
But I'll tell you this: even when I put that in on Claypool, I thought I was overspending. But I haven't spent a ton of money. The thing that I said this about Juju in our actual draft recap, and I said, "Who is Juju?" And most people disagreed with me.
That's
at
a
the table
loaded question,
that
man.
that with Ben back, he was going to kind of go off, and I was like, well, I mean, I kind of questioned some things about him. And then he had a great week 1, so then I decided to trade for him because I'm like, everyone else was right and I was wrong. And since then, I don't think he's gone over 50 yards in a game.
He hasn't scored, I don't think, since you traded for him.
Yeah, he hasn't scored and he hasn't gone over. I think he scored once, but he ain't gone over 50 yards. He had like 4 receptions and 40 yards and a touchdown that week I got him. He had me like 13 or something. Anyways, what I'm getting at real quick, Claypool could be the guy that emerges there, or he could have been who was the Minnesota guy that had a huge week? In
Justin
Jefferson.
Jefferson. Justin Jefferson had
He's had a decent
he's
week.
had
He had a
two-
great week. in
he
it.
had 27, then followed up with 12.3.
So
last
what
weekend.
justifies, what's his average going to be for the rest of the year for Claypool?
for spending $31.
Yeah.
I don't know. He's just
11,
got to win
12
you
points a week?
No, he's just got to win you some weeks.
Okay.
He's just got to have a big game.
But how much you say he spent on Dalton?
Andy Dalton
16.
16.
That's probably the bad one.
That's the bad one.
That's the bad one.
I like his weapons, but it's still, I don't think Dallas is going to allow him to run the scheme the way Dak did because he's not Dak.
Well, I'm not trying to.
They've also lost 3
I'm not trying to crap on
Mike.
Michael. I'm not. But if my quarterback's on his bye, and I'm pretty much renting the guy,
Michael?
No, Andrew. He's playing Michael. I'm not going to go put $15 down on a guy. I'll put.
I don't think he got him for
Two.
a bye week.
I think he's looking to have Andy Dalton for the rest of the season. It's
Yeah.
either 'cause you got him and Herbert.
All right, so then if you go that way, I still wouldn't have done that.
Yeah, Ryan Tannehill's on free agency, and I'm surprised about that.
I tried to pick him up. I just didn't know who to drop.
Like I said, look, if he comes out, if Andy Dalton destroys it for the rest of the year, if Claypool destroys it for the rest of the year, if he goes on a long win streak, everything works for him, it doesn't matter what we think. But on the surface, looking at it, Claypool, if you really felt you needed him, fine. I wouldn't spend $15 on Andy Dalton.
16. Here's your
Now-
offers. Here were your fab offers on Chase Claypool. So you had the winning offer was 31. Jake put 26. Reitmeyer put 11. AutoBahn Time put 10. Code of Personality put 10. Jordan's team put 5.
Okay. How many were in for Andy Dalton?
Just Jake, $2. And obviously,
That was a bye week start. I got Russell Wilson on bye week.
No, I get it.
Yeah, $2 and the CD double up kind of idea for it. But
There was reasoning behind it.
Look,
Yeah,
I mean, Scorp knows what he's doing as long as he's not doing it out of panic.
I like being able to see what people put down that didn't get.
And
you
I
know
even
you're
said
the only one that can do that, right?
I will also
Yeah.
tell you that I initially put in $15 on Claypool, and then I rose it to 20, and I was like, I'm not going higher than that for technically the number.
I'm not doing it.
Well, technically
25.
he's the number 3 receiver on that team.
Right.
All right. And so I was like, I just have a tough time. Even if he emerges, I feel like there's going to be games where he is going to be non-existent, and I hate putting those guys in my lineup.
Have you looked at his
Boom bust.
his measurements? I think he's like
Dude,
6'4",
it's ridiculous.
240.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
And his nickname is
Megatron.
Mapletron.
Yeah,
Maple
yeah,
Tron.
that's it.
Is he from Canada?
I think he's from
I don't
Canada.
trust him anymore.
I
Who's from
said
Canada?
I think
Claypool.
Claypool is.
I put
more -5 in on him.
I said Monday night that I
That's
thought it
more
would
money.
take 31 to get Claypool. I put in 31 initially and then backtracked.
Now I've always
Went
if,
hard.
if you put in the same amount of fab, does it go to the
Waiver
lower place
priority.
team?
No, it goes waiver priority.
Oh, okay.
That's the way it solves that.
Okay.
What if they're both one?
That you can't. do
You
both
can't.
one.
It's waiver priorities 1 through 10.
Yeah. Yeah. So it can't be both one. It would be like 1 and 2. All right, Arden. Let's finish this matchup. We got to talking about that for a little bit. Scorp.
We didn't really talk about Michael's team, and I feel like we bashed Michael's team a lot.
We don't bash Michael's team. It's just that Michael's team is like.
It's rough.
I mean, he's
Like his matchup might not be
hard
terrible.
times, Daddy.
This might be his closest projected
It's Dusty
matchup
Rhodes, son.
if he put in a flex player.
Well,
He's
all
only
right.
projected
So
to
who's he
win.
put in his flex? Gives him what? 10 extra points, maybe.
Depends on who it is. It's going to be a tight end, or Zach Moss or Greg Ward.
So let's pick the top one. Let's say Noah Fant plays.
9
Okay.
points.
So 9 points. So that gives Michael 108.
108.
He's down
17.
17. That probably changes the percentages to more so around 60-40.
Yeah.
So
I mean, he's got to have Kirk Cousins just have a ridiculous game, especially if Cook's going to miss or something like that, a shootout with Atlanta. Like, I don't see it. I'm just saying, like, if we're talking about how's Michael going to try to win,
Multiple touchdown week from Cooper Kupp or
Will
Will
Fuller.
Fuller just have a dominant.
I'm sure
200
he's
yarder.
given up on Drake. I feel like everyone.
I think Drake's got a shot.
We said that. I feel like
I feel like he still does.
This is the first time he's played Dallas, though.
Yeah.
Even though Carolina's been giving up a ton of fantasy points to running backs.
Well, no, there's
Not recently, no.
Jacobs went the heck off.
Jacobs went off. Eckler
Eckler
went
went
off.
It is pretty much tightened up. Has to.
Todd
Todd Gurley
Gurley
went
went off.
And Chase
Right.
Edmonds last week had double digits. So it was just basically Drake.
If you take like Drake and Edmonds
If you put
into one
if you put
position,
the Cardinals backfield, they did pretty well.
Laviska Shenault Jr. may get a bump. Chark is a game time decision, so he may get a bump there. Chenault's probably the number 1 guy if Chark's out.
Schultz looked really good the past 2 weeks, being like 8-10 targets a game.
Yeah, so Michael could be more so maybe around 110. What else does Evan Ingram the tight end start? I guess that's my last question before we look at
He
it.
looked good last week, didn't he?
He had a rushing touchdown, had a fake field goal, a receiving touchdown that got called back because stupid lineman.
Either he's going to put Fan at tight end and Ingram goes to the flex, or he's going to have Ingram at tight end and Fan at the flex.
I mean, they got to use Ingram more. I feel like he needs to become really almost a staple in the passing game. Like
He
he's
should
a
be.
freak. I don't like the way that your boy from Dallas,
Dalton
God.
Schultz.
no, the
Jason
old,
Garrett?
yeah, any of those either.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like the fact that he's not integrating that more into the offense. I feel like he should have gone a little bit more tight end focused in the passing game.
Maybe I don't know how much of it is Jason Garrett, how much is Daniel Jones sucks.
Because they never really used Evan Ingram last year. I mean, probably because he kept getting hurt.
Didn't it?
But he's basically just a huge slot receiver.
Yeah,
I mean, that's what he did at Ole Miss.
He's probably their best athlete on the field, like offensively, now that Saquon's out. I mean,
But when they had an offense that had
I agree.
when they had Saquon and they had Evan Ingram and they had Odell Beckham, that's probably top 3 or 4 athletes at each position.
and then they just
And then they're like,
sabotage themselves.
and then they went on the boat or whatever that happened. I don't know if that's the same thing. You
That was
remember-
Minnesota.
No, you remember when they went on the boat, like the Giants were going to the playoffs and they got on that boat and then they said they haven't done anything since.
I thought you was talking about the cruise that Minnesota went on
No.
with like Dante Culpepper.
No, that's a long time ago. I don't think
That was
Saquon.
a boat trip.
Cuba Gooding Jr., Horatio Sands.
Yeah, you don't want to be on that boat. All right, so
I don't have a problem with
Hold on. Let's not say we don't want to be on that.
that's
boat.
a gay boat trip.
What? I thought they had strippers.
No.
They might have, but they have to make.
They had Rosalind Sanchez was the Latino worker on there. She was the only straight woman there, and all the rest of them were.
Dante
Yeah,
Culpepper.
so
hold on.
if you wanna pick that boat
trip.
We're talking about the movie boat trip with Cuba Gooding Jr.
Oh no, I was talking about the Dante Culpepper.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're probably
Sorry, Braves game's on. I was watching the pitch.
Wait a minute.
Didn't
now,
Culpepper and them
now
go
hold on a
This
second.
ain't the place to do it.
Let's clear the air here.
Let's not be so quick to say no. All right.
Was the Culpepper one where they had strippers and stuff, or like prostitutes?
I don't think
That's
Dante
what
went
got him
anywhere
in
else.
trouble.
Yeah.
That's what got him.
Would
in
you like a
trouble.
margarita? Hey man, some shit. Love it, guys. Hitting them.
I prefer the slippery nipple.
All right, okay. We
Sex on the beach.
gotta establish some.
But Evan Ingram is one of the better athletes on the Giants.
All right, Brian, Scorp, 08 lines. Who you taking?
I'm gonna take Scorp. Scorp's gonna have an easy week. Shouldn't worry about it. Scorp's got it.
Ryan.
Picking Michael.
Oh,
You're welcome, buddy. I believe in you.
Score.
Oh, okay.
I'll take Scorp as well because right now the way it's projected, Michael's getting his first win against me. All right, our next matchup we have.
Ooh.
All right, we'll go to that before matchup of the week. Let's go
It's not on my phone.
we'll go to my
Ooh,
and Rand's Diddy's
Get your phone in your
matchup. So we have Cult of Personality versus Baba Booey.
Question mark.
Andrew Ransdale. All right. Okay. I'm gonna let y'all talk about this one since I'm involved in it. I don't want to talk too much about my own team.
No, we got you. So now that you know it was a gay boat trip, it was the Culpepper boat trip.
That's
That's
what
what
I
we're
said.
right. Is.
All right.
Thank you for catching up.
Has anybody
I'm
looked
just trying to help you solidify this.
Well, I said that 3 times.
I know.
All right.
It,
Andrew? There's 10 people that we start every week.
Yeah.
All 10 of his people are paired up.
Huh.
He's got
They
two
are.
Texans. He's got 2 Vikings. He's got 2 Dolphins.
Has he got
and he's
three
got 2
Ravens?
Ravens.
has
Or
playing with
He's
fire.
got 2 Ravens? Did
Yeah,
I read that
Baltimore.
wrong? I read that
Yeah,
wrong.
Andrews and Baltimore.
Yeah. Huh.
So that comes down to 5
Yeah.
offenses and a defense.
Why, how much money did he spend?
4
on,
games, right?
How much money did he
Yeah.
spend on?
Well, no, it's still 5 games.
Would it be 5 games? Houston, Minnesota, Miami, Baltimore.
Yeah, I guess.
4 games.
4 games.
Super intelligence
All right, Jake.
comes in
what you got,
handy.
What is? How much money did he spend on Tanya? Or Tanya?
bud? I thought it was
Uh,
31 last week, right?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it's around there, 28 to 31.
I
around
thought
there.
he
He spent that
over
much money
$30 to put him
When
on
the
his
guy
bench.
was going into his bye week.
Yeah, but I mean, even then, how do you not start him coming off the bye week? And a game that we talked about a while ago could be a shootout.
Because he drafted Mark Andrews in like the 4th or
That's
5th
fine.
round.
Why is he not in your flex?
Well, he's got Joe
Somebody's
Mixon on
pulling
his
the
bench too.
I'm
Like,
okay
Joe
with
Mixon.
I'm actually okay with that because Indy's defense has been one of the best in the league this year.
Yeah.
I like the volume though.
I was about to say I think I'd take him over
You
David
talking about
Johnson.
his hair?
Yeah.
I'd probably take him over Brandon Cooks.
I'm just talking
Brandon
about just
Cooks.
running backs.
Yeah. I was looking at
Because we were talking about if
Brandon Cooks had a big week.
talking
last
about Jay
week,
was
so
talking about
I see.
maybe Tanyan goes in the flex, but yeah.
It's an awfully high projection for Mr. Watson.
Let's look.
That's
So he's
elementary.
projected at 22. He has reached 22 only one time. That was last week against Jacksonville.
right?
Yep. He's been below
Against a better
22
defense.
since, or previously, excuse me. But again, that was a tough schedule to start the season with
It
KC,
was.
Baltimore,
It
Pittsburgh.
was.
Past 2 weeks have been his third highest scoring and his top
Highest
highest
scoring.
scoring. I guess I could just say highest scoring.
You could. I mean, hey, variety's a spice of life.
Yeah.
So is paprika.
Paprika. All right.
What's the update on your injury receivers? I haven't read them, but I do.
Odell tested negative for COVID.
Go!
He's still sick though.
Yeah, he's still sick.
I
He got
don't-
sent home. Right now, there's no new update other than just the fact that he didn't test positive for COVID. If he can, I honestly, the way it looks, it's probably gonna be a game time decision. If he's feeling good, he'll play. If he's
And I don't think Shark's going to play.
Yeah, I'm reading
It's
it now. It says that
another
he didn't
game
do a
time
lot.
decision. He didn't
Diffusion.
practice.
Who you gonna throw in if he's out?
Dobbins.
No, I can't. It's got to be a receiver. I'm gonna have to pick somebody up. I'll have to pick somebody up because I don't have a receiver on my
You want
bench.
to trade?
I
I give you Robbie Anderson.
4.
Waller.
I thought about sending you that, but I don't know. We'll talk. We'll talk.
Alright.
We'll talk. I have thought about that scenario though.
He is the Walrus.
Goo goo ka-choo. This the pretty. This the litty. Okay.
All right, back to the
John.
matchup.
John Lennon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey everybody! Hey everybody!
And
I got
Steve
some.
back.
Look, I got some good. I got some good impressions. Just hold on. And I'll
Whole
give you
bag
another.
of tricks over there.
All right. What stands out to you, Brian, between this matchup between Cult of Personality versus Baba Booey?
When it was brought up that he's got multiple players on the same team.
Sorry, I'm a
Just
No,
got
no.
Just
it's
got
fine.
hit
Like,
with
I'm
those.
a
That's
pattern
a-
noticer, man. It's
it's
a
a-
bother.
One bad week would just deflate his entire chance.
You just get on the bad side of some game scripts. That could really hurt.
Yeah.
Jake? What do you think?
Yeah, obviously a little worried about receivers being in there for you.
Mhm.
I agree. I think Odell will play, but Shark kind of scares me a little bit. The Cream Hunt, I don't question the volume he's going to get.
Fun Pittsburgh,
but
though.
Pittsburgh, tough matchup, and that's one of his higher projections on the year.
Yeah.
Which is a little surprising to me. And I mean, the rest of them, I kind of see. I was a little caught off guard by your Peterson start, and then I kind of looked at your bench, and I was like, well, everyone else is on
Peterson?
bye. No, I ain't seen anything on him.
He's got an update. We'll check.
Go.
I thought he like missed practice because he was sick.
Yeah, he did. He practiced fully today.
Okay. Yeah. I
Uh,
thought I saw something.
I'm just gonna be honest. The only reason I picked Peterson up is because I'm hurting on buys right now, and Peterson has the chance to score a touchdown.
You don't trust the snail trail or just kidding Dobbins?
I also like Andrew.
No.
Some of the starts he's been doing lately. I mean, sometimes we give Andrew a hard time, but he's made smart starts on his team that have been getting him a lot of points here lately.
Kirk
So,
Cousins
I'm
has
not
a
gonna-
bad week. He's screwed.
All right, you know how I said that Andrew's got the whole pairs off and the teams?
Yeah.
One of those pairs is playing the Falcons. One of them's playing the Jets, and another one is playing the Eagles.
Philly, yeah.
Mhm.
He's got good
Not,
matchups.
not
He does.
terrible matchups there.
Uh-huh.
He's got the only matchup that really kind of hurts him is Tennessee.
Maybe. I mean,
But
if
we
they
don't
get
know.
behind, Watson's going to throw a lot to an undefeated team.
But we said,
Josh Allen threw a lot last. They just turned the ball over and had
right,
penalties.
right, yeah.
Like they moved the ball
Do you think Josh Allen? Josh Allen, Deshaun Watson. Who you take?
this week
No, I'm saying in a
In
bubble,
fantasy?
in a vacuum.
in
Yeah.
fantasy.
Who
I'm
do you
probably
take,
taking
Deshaun
Josh
Watson
Allen.
or
If I'm
Josh
building
Allen?
my team, I'm taking Deshaun Watson.
Okay.
I might take Josh Allen on both.
Okay. Who do you take? Deshaun Watson.
If you take
Josh
away
Allen?
Deshaun Watson
Allen.
from Bill
Allen.
O'Brien and
Okay.
give him a decent structure,
I don't know.
Yeah, if you were
What I've
putting,
seen from Josh Allen, I'm like, I know what he.
if I'm putting them both on under Sean McDermott, I'm taking Watson
Okay.
because that guy can coach and he knows how to build a team. But Bill O'Brien's just a hot mess. Him and Adam Gase just need to.
I just don't know
Get out
how.
of the league.
I'm just not sold on Deshaun Watson. I'm not saying he's not a good fantasy player. Fantasy player, I think he is. I'm just not sold on him.
I'm on.
I don't think-
I'm on your side on this.
I
One.
think he's a winner.
I don't.
Yeah, I'm not really sold on him.
That's just my opinion.
But he's been playing under Bill O'Brien his entire career.
Yeah, I agree. And
So we don't
coaching
know.
obviously is a huge part.
Yeah.
No doubt about it.
I think he's succeeded in spite of Bill O'Brien, so I'd like to see what he does
Okay.
when he's not
Fair
around.
enough. Fair enough. We can disagree.
We can.
I don't. Okay. Yeah. Fair enough.
But do we need to?
We don't.
Can we come to? I'm just kidding.
We'll take Deshaun Allen.
Just leave it.
That's who we'll take.
Wow, I kind of want to watch.
I think Josh.
Oh, you couldn't
Josh
see it?
Watson is a much more common name.
All right, so let's look at it. Let's call a winner. Call the personality versus Baba Booey. Question mark Andrew Ramsdale. Who we take? Who y'all take?
Taking Andrew.
Yep.
I think I'm just taking who's ever on the right side of the matchup. I like the home team.
I'm gonna go you. That's gonna be really close.
I think so too. I,
I
think
think
it's
this
a close
might be the better
matchup.
week.
Either way.
I'm gonna take Andrew as well, but I'm worried about
I just don't know.
Hills.
Yeah, Beckham and Shark, I have no clue.
those two are out. You're in trouble.
Yeah, I don't think I win this week. I think I probably am going to end up fighting for that 8th seed at the end of the year.
I think the Hardman pickup with Watkins going down could be he gets you 3 or he gets you.
It's
20.
boom or bust, and
That's
I knew
all
that.
it
I
is.
knew that coming
You
into
get a
it.
double up.
But I've been busting with AJ Green and Russell Gage in there.
Yeah.
So
Hardman when he gets the opportunity, he's usually done
Yeah.
pretty well.
and having Pat Mahomes, I'm just gonna bank on
Just
one
volume.
big catch.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can just bank on Pat Mahomes sucking for 3 quarters and then dominating the 4th quarter because that's basically what he's done 3/5 of the game so far this year.
Yeah, he
He was average against the Raiders last week and then went off in the 4th. He was below average against the Chargers until the 1st quarter and just went off in the 4th.
The
So,
Baltimore game was his best game.
Yeah,
like
that's the
full
one
game.
he's played throughout the whole,
Mhm.
And then the Texans, week 1.
But that was a weird game.
Yeah.
It was a really weird.
They
game.
gave Clyde Edwards-Helaire 25 carries or 26 carries.
Will he see that again this year
Yeah.
in one game?
No.
That's
I don't think so. Which, I mean, he hasn't seen 25 carries since week 1.
true. All right, let's go to so not our matchup of the week, but a little rivalry because they're both sitting at the table next to each other. We've got the Fantasy Phenoms.
That's me.
Ryan Robertson versus Turd Sandwiches, Jake Ruth. All
That's
right,
Jake.
boys. All right. Do we need to separate y'all for this?
Oh, easy,
I can be cordial. We weren't really fighting. He's just trying to build up suspense.
All right.
Sounded like Gomer.
All right. I'll go with
You
I'll go with something that stands out to me, something that I'm looking at in this matchup. I'm looking at that wide receiver 3 matchup between Hollywood Brown and Juju Smith-Schuster. Here's what I'm thinking. Whichever, honestly, I'm probably going to take whoever scores highest out of that wide receiver 3 position because honestly, looking at it, I think you guys are pretty evenly matched. I think there's a lot of volatility in those wide receiver 3s. Marquise Brown could have a big week. He's had some decent outings. Last week was his
to
best
the
week.
Lamar can actually throw.
Yeah, last week was his best week. If Hollywood Brown has this huge breakout week like everybody's been expecting, I think that gives Ryan the edge. But on the other hand, if Juju has that big week that, again, we've been expecting since, I guess, really week 1, I think it goes in favor of Jake. So, honestly, looking at you guys match up, I think everything else is going to be pretty similar. I'd probably give the edge in the tight end position was the other, I guess, positional matchup that I was looking at. I would give the edge to Kittle, obviously, but Jonu's been a beast.
Okay.
I think Jonu's top 5 tight end.
About this, Kittle's definitely a better tight end. It's not even close. Jonu is the tight end 1 or like half a point behind Travis Kelce on points per game, but he's played 1 less game.
Right, yeah.
Which I did not think of. Like, I didn't see that at all. I thought it was Kelce and Kittle and Andrews far way above everybody else. And then I thought it was like Jonu and Waller. But no, like Jonu's played really well.
Yeah.
I think he scored 5 touchdowns or
Yeah,
something.
Jonu has played really well. When we were talking about bold predictions, I was talking to Brian, And I had a couple bold predictions, and one of them was that Jonnu Smith would be a top 5 receiver, top five tight end. And I didn't end up going with that one, but dude, I've been big on Jonnu, and you picked him up. I was like, oh, this guy might be.
I picked him up as soon as the Blakeout went down with
You
ACL
did,
on Sunday
dude.
Night Football.
Jonnu was a good pickup, man, and I think that's got a lot of longevity over the course of the season. But that's I guess, really looking at it, those are the two matchups, positional-wise. Wide receiver 3, tight end. I think whoever takes that wins this matchup. Brian, what you got?
Piggybacking on your wide receiver 3, Hollywood Brown is completely overhyped. Juju's just underperforming. So there's potential for Juju to do a lot better.
I got a question on that.
Yeah.
Is Marquise Brown overhyped because he's still getting wide open and Lamar's just missing him? If you've watched Baltimore play, he's just missing.
Right.
So is it that Marquise Brown's underperforming or that he can't help it that his quarterback is playing poorly?
It's a kind of a both thing.
Okay. All right.
It's a both. He can't get any, even if he's been bad, he can't get better if Lamar doesn't
He
get the
can't.
chance.
He can't improve his own situation. He needs some help.
So he can't be any. He can't just be hyped.
Spit it out, buddy. Hey, we're behind you. We believe in you.
You got this. You got
can do it.
this.
Take
You
your
got
time. Take your
this.
time.
We're here for
We're
you.
all-
So much pressure.
You can talk to Orion. He'll listen.
He can't be
I-
adequately hyped.
He didn't like that.
I didn't like saying hyped adequately. It didn't. That's not how it's supposed to be.
You didn't like me saying you can talk to Orion. He'll listen.
No, I can talk to you. You don't give a damn. But
You
I can
don't
talk to
listen.
No, he doesn't care.
I'll listen.
No, you hear. You don't listen. But
We
anyway.
all here. We've been here for a while.
Juju's got a better chance of having a bigger game.
My fear with that
The
matchup
thing
is
is, what it all comes down to is what it's always come down to for years and years of NFL football. Which Ryan Fitzpatrick do you get? You can get the Ryan Fitzpatrick that is the man Hall of Famer. If he would have done in his best games been somewhere similar to that for his entire
Extrapolate
career,
that over whole career.
he'd probably be known as the best quarterback of all time. I'm serious. Like, when Fitz has a good game, Fitz has a good game.
He does.
He doesn't just have a decent, like, when Fitz does good, he blows up.
Yeah.
But when Fitz is bad, he's terrible.
He's bad.
Right. So if he gets the Ryan Fitzpatrick, this is probably the most consistent year he's had on the good side.
Yeah.
So,
all right, you get the Fitz magic, or you get the, hey, there's a reason why this dude's played for like 8 different teams.
right.
It's one or the other. He's
Right.
not a middle of the road guy.
All right, so is he the epitome of boom or bust quarterback?
Yes.
Is
For
there
sure.
is there-
100%.
And here's the thing. You're
Is
looking at
Jameis
it.
the other one?
The one that he got benched for last year
Yeah.
and then came back in for, that's him.
The thing is, the way he's played this year and what he's done, you're looking at him playing the Jets thinking, oh, he's going to destroy.
Used to play with.
But this is where he would have the worst game. This is where he would throw for 110 and 4 interceptions.
It is
I don't
hard.
think that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, I agree. It is hard to project what he's going to do on a weekly basis.
Okay.
Just, yeah.
Speaking of, we talked about it earlier, and I told Jake because he was picking up Ryan Fitzpatrick, saying that was the best quarterback you can pick up on the week, and I said I wanted to talk about it during ours.
Okay.
I had a $19 bid in for Fitzpatrick, and I was like, this dude's been dominant, which he has. I think Jake
Since
mentioned
week
it.
one.
I think
Since
Jake
week
mentioned
one.
it
Yep,
last
he did.
week. Like, you look at his last 4 games where like that he's been dominant.
Yep.
The only reason I took that bid back down and put a bid in on Roethlisberger is that I just lost Dak Prescott last week, and I think Fitzpatrick goes on a bye next week.
He does.
So I wasn't going to spend money or fab on a quarterback to play him 1 week and then have to drop him and pick up somebody else.
Yeah.
So that's why I went off and I was like, all right, just please let Jake take somebody average. Let him pick up Joe Flacco. Let him
The
pick up
other one was
somebody garbage.
Tannehill that I looked at, to be
Yeah.
honest with you. And that was before I did put one in on Dalton just because I like the CD kind of idea.
My name's Dalton.
I'm back.
I'm back. I tell you, the other thing that I'm kind of looking at with interest is the RB2 matchup. Taylor and
Sage.
Clyde.
Clyde. I don't think that Bell will have a big role this week. I don't know.
He can't play this week.
He can't.
Well,
With the COVID
test.
rules, you have to have 5 negative tests, 5 days of negative tests or something before you can play.
Well, Edwards, I think even Ryan will say this, it's kind of been a disappointment since week 1. 10, 15, 10, 9.
Just don't. I don't understand his place in the offense. Like
I don't either.
I don't know how they're trying to use him.
I don't think
I
they
don't
know
think
how to use
I
him.
don't think if they get in the red zone, they're even considering them.
No.
They're not really. They ran in the red zone a ton week one, and he got stuffed like 4 or 5 times, and then they basically just stopped giving it to him in there. He scored a touchdown last week in the red zone, passing wide open. JT's boy had to sabotage me because it was Travis Kelce clearly doing a pick pass interference, and then like a play later, Pat Mahomes threw the ball to somebody else for a touchdown.
From what I heard,
CEH just doesn't have a. It's like they don't know how to use him, and it's just been weird. And a lot of the throws he's been getting targets have been Pat Mahomes getting pass rush just throwing at his feet. Yeah. So it's not really his fault.
The biggest thing I heard, like, as the reason why they brought Le'Veon Bell in, I guess one of the reasons is because the way Clyde Edwards-Helaire has graded out in pass protection. And maybe just that, like, that trust issue that is just that's what's keeping CEH from being.
Well,
like,
a lot of the third downs they've been putting Darrell Williams in because they trust him in pass protection. Now,
and with Pat Mahomes being the highest paid quarterback in the league,
you've got to have it.
I mean, yeah.
Now, I don't know if the fact that he's only like 5'8", hurts him in pass protection against NFL pass rushers, or maybe it's just the fact that he's a rookie, hadn't picked it up yet. I don't know. He might be able to. But Danny Woodhead was a fantastic pass blocker.
I guess that's my question. How does pass protection I don't know too much about CEH in college, but how does pass protection as a running back translate from the college game to the NFL game? Because that is a reason.
He was more of a swing out guy.
Yeah, he didn't stay in and protect a lot. He was the out route or the hot route, whatever, to get rid of it. But he didn't usually stay in and block a ton.
Because that's what keeps like a lot of running backs from being 3-down backs is not the fact they can't catch.
Sure,
it's pass protection.
And there's a lot of old running backs that stay in the league because they understand
LaShawn McCoy.
Doing that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So
which I don't know, and I was going to ask y'all, I guess when we got to my matchup, because Clyde is on my team. How do we see that working out with Bell and Clyde? Is it
I think Bell's going to steal a lot of red zone.
I don't. Well, Clyde hadn't been getting red zone anyway, so I think Bell.
So is Darrell Williams just?
I think Darrell Williams doesn't get on the field anymore.
No.
But now is it Clyde still early downs and Bell's just third down and red zone? I think Bell's too good for that just to be that role. I don't know, but how soon can he pick up the offense? I don't know. I have no clue.
I think Taylor's going to start trending more up.
Well, here's my thing with Taylor that I would pick up on real quick is that week 2, which was his highest fantasy output, he got 26 rushing attempts for 101 yards and a touchdown. Now, since then, he's had 13, 17, and 12 rushing attempts. Now, he has been getting in the end zone, which has made his production a little bit higher. But I still question what the heck's going on with the Colts in general. Is their offense does not look good to me. I don't think that
there's no. It doesn't look like they have a plan.
They don't. But it looks stagnant. It looks like there's no big plays.
If they had a half decent offense, they would be destroyed.
Here's my thing: is if they ain't gonna play any better with Rivers, and he doesn't look that comfortable in the offense. He's actually tried to run a couple times when I watch him. What are you doing?
They just better off going back to Jacoby Brissett.
Which a reporter asked him about that this week, and I think they said he hasn't thought about it.
My thing is run the ball.
I would have given a thought.
I would have never brought Philip Rivers in the first place. Just being honest.
Well,
I don't think he fits that offense.
His best season he's had as a Charger in like the last 10 years was when Frank
Reich
was the offensive coordinator. But that's not the offense they're running.
No.
So I don't understand why he switched it.
Because their offense is pretty athletic when you have everybody on the field together. It's pretty fast.
Like the fact that they can have I wouldn't ever play Jack Doyle. I can't stand him.
Or Doyle rules.
But dude, Mo Cox
with the injuries they've got at wide receiver, run 12 personnel have
run 13 personnel because they got Jack Doyle, Trey Burton.
I say, but if you got Trey Burton on one side, Mo Alley Cox on the other, both great pass catchers.
Yeah.
But Mo Alley Cox is basically an offensive lineman anyways.
Yeah.
And you know what? That's going to help the run game too. Get Taylor established.
I don't see why Taylor's not getting 20 rushes a game at minimum.
What did you do last week? How many attempts did you get last week?
12.
That's what I said. He's only gone over 20 once this
season. Fell in the end zone, which helped his fantasy value.
He should have 20.
But he's getting – that's what I'm saying is he's going to get the red zone carries. Unlike what we were just talking about on the other side. When they get inside the 20, the Colts are going to run the ball. That's why he's going to stay fantasy relevant. The problem is I think he should be getting more carries before then. I think he should be having 20 carries, 80 yards, and a touchdown a week, which I'm going to sit there and take every day of the week.
Look at Jordan Wilkins. They're giving him like 6 to 8 touches a game. Naeem Hines is a good change of pace third down back. Use him for that. But why is Jordan Wilkins getting those 6 to 8 carries that they should be given to the more talented,
Taylor,
better, younger player, bigger player,
And
faster player?
It makes me think that was going to be Frank Reich's plan all along, was to run 3 running backs, because essentially,
and they just replaced Marlon Mack with
right?
Jordan
Because I really do, because
Yeah, it might have been.
I don't think, because like you think about it, like just common sense, like Marlon Mack was kind of the placeholder for Jonathan Taylor. So Marlon Mack gets hurt, then that should just open up.
I mean, last year they ran Mack, Wilkins, and Hines. They
Right.
basically
but we
replaced
even
their
looked
still
at it
doing
when
that.
on draft review, he went over 100 yards once.
Mack twice, and I think one of them had like 40
Yeah,
carries.
out of a whole season, he did it twice. And
Yeah.
what I'm getting at real quick is like, why are you not giving this guy 20 carries a game? Like, his averages are high.
And he's
Compared to like 12 carries, 57 yards, and a touchdown, like that's productive. If you give him 24 carries, you're looking at 114 yards, which again, that's what I would be wanting in that offense right about now, is to establish that, to open up more for Phillip Rivers.
and he's a big guy. You listen to anything you talk about Marshawn, listen to anything you talk about Derrick Henry. They want to get more carries because they want to beat down the defense, and when the fourth quarter comes, they start breaking off big runs, and you control the clock. That's what he did at Wisconsin.
Yeah.
When Jonathan Taylor was there. I don't know why they're not using him the same way. So that's just our running back talk for RB2s.
All right, Brian, fantasy phenoms versus turd sandwiches, both sitting at the table. Who you taking?
It's coming down to
The wire.
how Andy Dalton does with the Dallas offense for this week between CeeDee Lamb and Ezekiel Elliott for Jake.
Okay.
That's what I've been struggling with since we've been talking. It's also, I feel like this is going to be another closer matchup. We were talking earlier about how the matchups is probably the biggest gap we've had in matchups.
Yeah, there's not any close.
Right, but as we're going through them, they're going to be a lot closer
Yeah.
than what they're projected to be. I think Edwards-Helaire is a little over projected. I think Taylor's a little under projected. I'm going to go Jake this week, but I think it's going to be probably less than 5 points.
Okay, I'll go ahead and make mine and leave y'all two to
Just go that way.
yeah to talk amongst yourselves about who you're going to take. I will. I see where you're coming from. I think you make some good points. I'm going to go opposite. I'm going to go Ryan, because I think that all Chase Edmonds has to do is score a touchdown, and he breaks his projection by a decent margin, because I do think they're starting to funnel some touches his way. If he scores, I think that's a big difference. Jonnu Smith at 9, I think, is a very low projection for where he's at right now. 9 is he's only been under 9 one time, and that was 8.6. I think his projection is very low. So I'm going to take Ryan. I'm going to take Ryan. All right.
Jake.
I think quarterbacks are too tough for us to call, so I'd consider that a wash. I think running backs would be close. I might give myself a slight edge just because I think Zeke might get a little bit more carries now. Tight ends, I don't know what's going to happen with San Francisco. I hope Kittle bounces back, and if so, I think he wins that. If not, I'd say it's a wash. I think you win the flex. I think defense, I might have an edge, but where I give you the complete edge is at wide receiver. I like seeing Brown back last week. I mean, he looked good. He gets open. He runs good routes. He's a big guy. I don't know about the CD situation. I do know that middle of the field is going to be a friend for for Dalton. So I hope CeeDee Lamb's production stays up.
And your boy gets open.
I don't know what's going to happen with Juju. So I don't like having two big question marks where I don't have those same questions for you on the other side. So I give you the edge at receivers. Therefore, I'm going to say you win the week.
Okay. All right, Ryan, down to you.
Well, I got Jake because I need Aaron Jones. Without Dak, I need Aaron Jones to continue to get 30 to 40 a week. And Tampa Bay's got a good run defense.
They do.
And they got two of the more athletic middle linebackers in the game to cover him in the past. Even though I did hear the stat again today that even though he's had a bye, Aaron Jones still has the second most red zone targets, and he's a running back.
And so,
but if he doesn't go off, I need him to score, which he scores a lot. But Tampa Bay's defense is really good against the run. And it's, for me, my whole team's going to boil down to I need Chris Carson back, but he's on bye. So does Chase Edmonds start to eat into Drake's workload or not?
True.
But if not, I think Zeke is going to eat with the first full game without Dak. I think he might score 2 or 3 times. And he's going to keep doing that feed me thing he does all the time. And they might actually listen to him for the first time in a while.
And Ryback is going to sue him for taking his catchphrase.
And Ryback. That's why you're not.
I'm
You're not the spotlight anymore.
I'm probably
big guy.
biased in this opinion, but I'm saying like as a running back, running the football, I think he's looked the best this season. Like he's made great cuts. He's been powerful in finishes. That just running with the football, he
It's
is
the worst line he's played behind, and he's making
I think
it look like it's not that big of a deal.
And Dallas is always on TV, so I also get to watch them a little bit.
Yeah, I watched
But
every game they played this year, and he's looked fantastic.
Yeah, he looks good.
And when they actually throw him the ball, he's been catching it a ton.
Yeah, it's another surprise.
But does Dalton throw to the running backs? I don't know.
I just don't. I said this to you last week. I didn't like the fact that they were giving Dak red zone carries.
Okay. Yeah, it's.
I thought it was dumb. Like I didn't see with having Zeke, you would ever want him running for the sake of him having something like that.
You ain't got to worry about it now.
Well, I know
The Red Rocket ain't running.
But I mean, that is something I'm going to point at. That some of Zeke's touchdowns that he hasn't been getting have been going to a running quarterback, and now I don't see that happening as much.
Yeah.
So I think his touchdowns could go up.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's why I said he's gonna score 2 or 3, and I'm gonna freaking turd sandwiches.
All right, so we got to split there. All right, lastly, let's go to our matchup of the week. So our matchup of the week this week is AutoBahn Time, Josh Broach versus bye week Steve Reitmeyer. So what we do every matchup of the week, we go position by position, and boys, we got some good matchups here.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, buddy.
All right, so looking at that top position, the QB position, Cam Newton against Denver versus Josh Allen against KC on Monday night at 5 p.m.
Ooh.
Yeah, screw those West Coast people. We're getting in on this early East Coast action.
Get on that 2 o'clock game action.
Yeah.
You on your lunch break, watch the NFL game.
Yeah, dude, that's what sucks about East Coast, man. You get screwed game times. This helps us. So who you taking? Cam Newton, Josh Allen. Ryan, what you got?
You'll never hear me take Cam. I'm taking Josh Allen.
Josh Allen versus KC. All right.
I think he's going to have a bounce back from Tuesday Night Football.
I do think there's some there were probably some whispers in that locker room. Maybe not even the locker room. Maybe not, honestly, probably not in the locker room. Probably in the media, like the press.
Josh
they're
Allen
like,
has
hey,
a chip on his
The
shoulder.
other 2 New York teams are terrible. Both of you're all we got. Don't let us down.
Josh Allen has a chip on his shoulder. He wears it proud. He really does. Like he's quiet about it.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's like he hates sucking, and he sucked. So I think he comes back. But I think Cam Newton this week over Josh.
Cam Newton.
Yeah.
I think this is an interesting matchup because I think Josh Allen and Cam Newton actually kind of
A lot of similarities.
very similar quarterbacks. Jake, who you taking between these two? Josh Allen, Cam Newton. Who you taking?
I think we can all agree on this. Cam Newton showed how important he was to the New England
Absolutely.
Patriots by missing. Was it like 2 weeks ago?
It
would have been
was
2
Their
weeks.
game
now.
got this.
Yeah,
Their game
yeah.
against Denver got
Right,
moved
yeah.
from last
Week-
week to
week
this
3.
week.
Week 3.
Look how bad that
Week 4,
offense
week
looked. Look how bad that offense.
Lost. Completely lost.
I mean, it was awful.
Yeah.
They almost won that game. If they would have had if they could have had Cam Newton out there on one leg, I think they would have.
A quarter of
I think they
Cam
would have
Newton
beat the
makes a
Chiefs.
big difference. There you
Yeah,
go.
they would have beaten the Chiefs, I think, because what was it? Brian Hoyer threw 3 picks, and
Yeah,
Stidham came in and was also bad.
But I'm going to look at matchups because I think that's something important to look at here. I think New England could get out to a lead on Denver, which I kind of question their offense.
Yep.
And I think with the 14 running backs that Belichick has, he's going to use them a lot. And I think Josh Allen's going to be having to compete against Patrick Mahomes and
Go shot for
well,
shot. try
yeah.
to.
I think it could turn into that. And sometimes Patrick Mahomes and JT will tell you it takes him until fourth quarter to all of a sudden throw 3 touchdowns
Yep.
and make it a shootout in the fourth. I'm going to take Allen in this one just because I like the matchup more in this sense. Even though I think
Yeah.
Newton could have a big week, I just think they get up early and it's going to be
More of a
running game.
shootout on the Allen side.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to take Cam Newton for the reasons that you talked about. How you didn't understand exactly how important Cam Newton is to that offense until you take him out of that offense.
Jake said
That
that.
was you.
Yeah.
Look, I'm just listening.
I got you.
I'm sorry.
I got you.
We sound just alike.
He picked Cam Newton. That's what got me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
I think if New England gets out to a big lead, I don't think that hurts like Cam Newton's like fantasy value because he is going to
Belichick is
I
one
know.
says
Let me
Cam is
stop
game
that.
script proof, I think, just for the fact that he runs. But if he's not running, he's
Are
gonna
you
be
running
passing.
him as much after the Dak injury and also considering you saw how bad that offense was without him?
it's Bill Belichick. You never know.
That's something I would kind of
I'm-
think about. It's
I-
like if I got a lead, I ain't running Cam at all.
Well, I thought Ron Rivera was going to do the same thing after he came back from like ankle injuries and shoulder injuries,
When he
and it was
broke
like
his
for like
back in the
2
car wreck.
weeks, and then they just like, you know what, we're going to let Cam be Cam because he's most effective when he's playing the way he
I
plays.
agree. I think that's the
So
but
I
with
think
the
that's-
lead. With the lead, it's a little bit different to me.
With the lead, I hope they give the ball to Damian Harris
Yeah, that's why.
because that's the smart thing to do. If
Or
you've got
White
4 running backs, give them.
or
Yeah, you give it to your running backs.
whoever.
Who you taking?
I'm still taking Cam Newton
Okay.
because I don't think it affects his fantasy value all that much. I really don't.
For me,
And
the
Denver,
best.
I don't
threat-
see them getting out to a huge lead against Denver.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying that Denver's great,
Denver doesn't have Gordon this week.
but that's still to be debated. That's still in question.
I think
They do have Drew Lock back,
And they have Tim Patrick, who might be sneaking his way into a lineup.
And I think Noah Fant's coming back.
Noah Fant is coming back. So
No offense taken.
Yes, thank
And
you.
Tim Patrick.
I'm gonna take Cam Newton in this matchup, but I can definitely see that Josh Allen. I can get spoiled here for sure. I'm gonna take Cam Newton. Second matchup: Amari Cooper versus against Arizona versus Tyreek Hill against Buffalo. Let's see, Jake, who are you taking in this? Amari Cooper, Tyreek Hill.
I mean, before the injury, I would probably take Cooper because of the reception.
Mhm.
He did not get looked at all last week, and he didn't even get looked at when the game was on the line. They went to Gallup.
They went to Lamb, I think, on Dalton's first couple drives,
Yeah,
and then it was
and
Gallup on that
Gallup.
last one.
He was kind of non-existent. I'm going to take Tyreek because that ball that got called back on a holding where he threw it from the 30 or 35 on a dot on
It was
the.
like a 70.
He threw it on a paint
30 yards
Dude,
on a paint
that was one of the best throws I've watched because of how deep it was in double coverage and it landed right in his lap.
Dropped it in the
Ty-
butt. Almost like a Russell Wilson deep.
Tyreek's a big play just waiting to happen. He's a better Jackson in his prime.
Cooper's been getting top 2 or 3 in the league in targets, I think.
Yeah.
He's up there for sure. Yeah,
Does
he's had
Dalton target in the same way?
best to be. I guess you got to just wait and see.
That's
In
what
our
I'm saying.
Well,
defense-
you got to remember the pass plays are also going to go down. There's not going to be as many of them. It's going to be more balanced.
We hope.
And
I
Tyreek
hope.
Tyreek only needs 1 point.
Right.
1 catch to get 15 points, basically.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Just because he's got that kind of
Yeah,
ability.
yeah.
And
Tyreek,
Tyreek also does a lot of running too.
he does reverses those
Reverses.
little shovel passes that you
They're
like.
not
Touch
runs,
passes.
they're little pop passes right in front. So
It's okay.
Andy Reid's like, how can I get Patrick more touchdown passes without hurting his shoulder? I'll just get him to tap it right in his
Tap,
chest.
tap a root.
Either
And it
way.
works. It works.
So technically it's a reception, so he gets half a point
But
just
he
for catching that little
because
thing.
he don't play under center.
Tyreek Hill has come nowhere close.
But it used to be you take it and you just turn around and hand it to him on a reverse. Now they're doing it front, so Patrick gets a pass and touchdown.
Okay, Boomer. What?
Tyreek Hill has come nowhere close to Amari Cooper in targets, but
Makes a lot of
I like what you guys have said. Amari Cooper's targets are probably going to go down. It's just to what extent.
Right.
Maybe.
Now we also can't look at it. We're talking about Andy Dalton's son like he's
Right.
just a backup.
But-
Andy Dalton, this is the best team he's ever had.
Yeah, it is.
Andy Dalton could blow up.
And he had some
He really-
big years
he
in
did.
Cincinnati.
He
Like,
really
I
did.
saw that.
The only thing you can for sure say that's changing is the quarterback's not going to be running the football like that.
He may throw it more.
He could throw more.
Who knows?
He could. I doubt it. I think Zeke takes more of a prominent role going forward.
They should.
But I mean, it's not like Andy Dalton's.
No,
Terrible.
He's
It's
the best
not.
backup quarterback in the NFL.
Yes.
I mean, unless
I
you want to
knew
throw,
you'd have an opinion.
unless you
on
want to throw
that.
Jameis in there.
What I was going
I
to say
feel
is
like the Jameis argument.
Yeah, I think there's an argument there. He's got LASIK.
LASIK, and he threw 30
Amari,
touchdowns last year.
Amari Cooper did he had weeks where he completely disappeared in Oakland. But I feel like Andy Dalton now is better than Derek Carr was a couple years ago. And
I think
Cooper
so,
was
too.
still
Agree.
effective in Oakland,
Agree.
which it was Oakland back then. But I don't see why Cooper couldn't still be good. It's
No,
just,
yeah,
I think
Cooper's not going to have a massive fall off.
his ceiling is lower with Dalton than it was with Dak, just because Dak
Yeah.
threw it to him a lot.
Absolutely.
We need to see what he does with Dalton.
So has Cooper's trade value gotten to the point where you think you could maybe acquire him? Because I've looked at Cooper.
I don't think it's going to be enough. I don't think it sways it enough.
He's
Okay.
still
If you
number
didn't think
one.
you could afford him before, you still
okay,
can't afford him.
okay, because that's what I was thinking about. It's like, maybe this is my time to strike to get
So
Amari Cooper.
who would you offer for Cooper?
It would
Darren Waller.
it would have been Waller. It would have been a 2 for 2. Waller's going to be in
I
any
know,
trade that I
I
send
know.
because he's a
I know.
top, probably 4 tight end.
Right.
Is in my flex 4.
5. I'll say
Uh,
5.
All right, name
No,
the
let's
four. Okay.
Kelsey
go
Kittle,
for it.
Andrew Smith. I'm done.
All right,
Yeah, I'd put those 4 above it.
Negative.
back to it.
Yeah, but it was a combination of that. All right, so who you taking? Amari Cooper, Tyreek Hill, Brian.
Tyreek, just
Tyreek.
too much big playability.
Okay, I'm taking Tyreek as well. But I am curious to see where Amari Cooper goes from here. All right, wide receiver 2, we got Devontae Adams versus Mike Evans.
I'd take Amari Cooper, by the way.
I thought I already. Oh, it's my bad.
You good?
I thought
I just can't. I can't take a Chief.
can't take a Chief.
I can, but I do. I think.
Yeah,
Cooper's
because
gonna
you've
do
got
well.
a Chief on your team.
I wasn't listening, and I
It's
thought
first
you,
round
You
pick.
drafted a Chief last year,
First round
round.
pick.
Second round.
I thought you said I
took
can't
the
take
market.
it.
I took
You had the
Devontae.
turn. You
I
had the
did.
turn.
But I think Tre'Davious White, if he's back for the Bills, he will be on Tyreek, and that dude's a solid corner. And I think Patrick Peterson's falling off a little bit. So.
That's pretty nice falling off a little bit.
But that was
He's
just
been in the league a while.
Yeah,
yes,
for sure.
for sure.
Glad we're all
Yeah,
agreeing.
sure.
What's interesting about this matchup is that it's the same game. So
That's interesting.
Devontae Adams playing Tampa Bay, Mike Evans is playing Green Bay. That makes this matchup a little bit
Battle.
more game script.
The
Okay.
battle of the bays.
Battle of the Bays.
Mhm.
That's the only 2 bays, right?
San Francisco, but I don't really.
If they don't
consider
come to San Francisco Bay 49ers.
it. Right. They could.
They could.
Why don't they?
Just bad taste.
San Francisco's bad taste.
No arguments there.
Oh, well, it's Pride Month.
All right, Jake, what do you think?
Just don't, man.
Yeah.
Just don't. I'm doing my best.
All right, Jake, what do you think? Devontae Adams, Mike Evans.
Adams, I don't think it's close.
Yeah, that 15 bothers me.
I
He projected him with 15 points.
think he'll get 15 targets.
Yeah, I mean, he's only played 2 games.
I'm going to make a prediction. He's going to have no less than 27 or more than 33.
I want to point out one other thing.
Yeah,
that,
he's
that
having a big weekend.
Broach, he
Not
still
too
beat me
Not too
because
big. Not too big.
Go ahead, Jake.
so Broach still beat me a couple weeks ago because Todd Gurley went off, but he didn't get a receiver in when Adams didn't play when he said he was good to play.
Should have.
So what I'm going to kind of point out here is Adams pissed. He's going to say he's had 2 or 3 weeks off now to rest and get fully healthy. I think he is just going, especially Lazard out. I think he's going to have maybe, I'm going to go really high. I think he'd have 18, 19 targets in that game. That's how much I think he's going to get fed. I think he'll have a touchdown for sure. I think also to consider is Godwin's back for Tampa Bay as well to take some of those shots away from Evans. There's been a couple games where Evans is like 3 catches, 5 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
He had that one game where he had 2 catches for 2 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah. So like some of his have been beneficial of that. Maybe he continues that. Maybe Godwin coming back can take a little bit away, or maybe they kind of start getting the running game established. I don't know. I really like the amount of targets that I think Adams will have over him. So I think Adams wins that matchup easily.
And I feel like Rodgers has outplayed Brady so far this year, so I'm going Adams on that one.
Okay. I'm going to take Evans on this because I do think that Evans and Brady have a little bit more chemistry because Evans has played every game. Evans also has a touchdown, at least one in every game. I'm going to take Evans over Adams just because I think Tampa doesn't have I just don't think they have the offense that Green Bay has, so they may be chasing points late.
Who's going to score for Green Bay?
Aaron Jones.
Aaron Jones.
So you think he'll have like 3 or 4?
I think
That's
he'll have.
the hope, Jake.
I think he could have 2 touchdowns.
Against a good run defense.
Yeah, because Aaron Jones doesn't have to do it in the running game. Like Aaron Jones is a ridiculously good receiver out of the backfield, even like deep shots.
I mean, but this could be a 38-35 type of game.
It could.
So both of them could do well.
Here's my thing. I'm calling Mike Evans with 2 touchdowns. I don't know if that's why I'm taking Mike Evans over Devontae Adams. Do I think Devontae Adams is probably the better play here? Yeah, I agree. But I'm taking Mike Evans because I think Mike Evans is going to come in with 2 touchdowns. I don't know how he's going to do it, but that's going to move the needle for me. Just a feel.
All right.
Wide receiver 3, we got Julian Edelman.
Ryan, did you get the
Yeah, he picked first. Julian Edelman against Denver versus Kenny Galladay against Jacksonville.
I think it's Galladay is not close. Edelman hasn't looked good the past couple weeks,
I'm in
but
agreement.
Cam's back, so maybe that changes it. But Galladay's only on his second, third game.
So
I
Galladay
Galladay's
he played week 3, week 4, had a bye last week, 14.7, 0.2.
All right.
That's his 2 weeks.
So now he's what, 5, 6, 7 weeks removed from his hamstring
he
injury,
is.
and he's coming off a bye week. I think he's got a chance to have a really good week. And Jacksonville is not good in the secondary.
Okay. All right, Brian, you agreed with that.
Yeah, Galdo. Edelman hasn't looked good.
He had his career high in reception yards in week 2 against Seattle in that
Last time
shootout.
Cam played.
No, he played in week 3.
Yeah.
And,
Seattle's defense on the pass is terrible.
yeah, they're awful. They are.
But Edelman did look good. They were targeting him actually downfield, which
Yeah.
I've never seen Julian Edelman targeted downfield besides that one Super Bowl.
Super Bowl, yeah.
And that was just because they were playing from behind for so much.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with both y'all on there. I'm gonna take Galladay there. Could Edelman be a sneaky play and work out? Yeah, I think he could. But just looking at those two, I'm gonna take Galladay as well. Jake, what are you thinking?
Got it.
Galladay. All right, so we're in agreement there. Lost my matchup. Let me go back to it. All right, so now we're getting into the running backs.
Tighter than a shriveled nutsack for the rest of this.
Running backs. Running back, y'all.
All right, so running back 1, Todd Gurley the second versus Darrell Henderson Jr.
Which could also be
the second. Yeah. All right, Todd Gurley's playing Minnesota. Darrell Henderson Jr. is playing San Fran. Ryan, who you taking?
I'm taking Darrell Henderson because there's got to be a week where Todd Gurley doesn't just get a 1-yard plunge touchdown, right? There's just got to be. I mean, I feel like that's what he's done ever since he came into the league, but I think there's going to be a week where he gets skunked, and he hadn't been getting the yards. And Darrell Henderson, I feel like this might be a week where Malcolm Brown doesn't get touches, and it's Darrell Henderson. So I don't know. I'm going to go Henderson. It's going to be close, though.
Okay. Jake, who you taking? Darrell Henderson, Todd Gurley.
I don't trust the Rams on which running back is going to be the one that goes off. And Todd Gurley, like what Ryan just said, just keeps getting like 1-yard touchdowns. Minnesota has been better, I think, lately, kind of defensively, but they've also been giving up some points as well.
Yep.
I'm just going to go Gurley because I think he gets in the end zone for sure. And I don't know what's happening in Rams with running backs.
Yeah,
I think Henderson's the best one there, but
Okay.
I'm going Henderson.
Going Henderson?
Yeah.
Which you got some reasoning behind that?
San Fran's defense kind of
Sucked last week, dude.
Kind of starting to fall apart a little bit. You can't blame them.
No, they had a lot of injuries.
Yeah. And they were all season-ending injuries.
Yeah.
So, Gurley.
Now, Sherman's coming back, though, but that's not going to help the run defense. But
Right.
Sherman coming
It
back.
could help the run defense.
they don't have to drop as many into zone coverage.
I'm just saying, like, that's going to help their defense overall, but I couldn't remember if his was season ending here.
No, he's coming back.
Okay.
Yeah.
That wasn't a question really.
And the way Minnesota's been playing the past couple of weeks, it's going to be a shootout kind of feel.
Could be.
So I'm thinking they'll be run the ball a ton.
Also down.
But I mean, what they were saying, the Henderson thing, you don't know who's going to show up for LA. You don't know who they've circled as their main guy that week. If it plays as it should, Henderson should win this matchup.
Okay, but the safer play, you would agree, would be Todd Gurley.
Todd Gurley's got the higher floor because he's got a guaranteed
safer,
workload.
yeah.
I feel
Yeah.
like
That's
He's the guy.
right. That's what leads me to pick Todd Gurley in this matchup, just because he is the safer play here, and Darrell Henderson he does his entire career. He's just fallen.
when he was the fantasy MVP, it was the fact that he scored like 20-something touchdowns.
I looked at his stats of the day, and I forgot exactly.
He won me a fantasy championship one year because it was just like, he scored I think 4 touchdowns
I thought he was
on
going
the
to say
fantasy championship. And he, after the game, he went and said, "All right, you're welcome, fantasy players. Now leave me alone about fantasy," or something.
Have you
like
left
that.
him alone since then?
No, taste him every week.
I write him a handwritten letter
Toddy!
on pink stationery, and I kiss it, put perfume on it. He's got a restraining order, so I'm not allowed to go to Los
We
Angeles.
know who wants to go on that cruise now.
So he's in Atlanta now, so it's a little bit closer.
Here's what happened. Ryan leaned over to Jake and said, "Tell me, can't be 100% on not going on that cruise." So Jake took the bullet, but really it was Ryan that wanted to go on the cruise. Hey, look at me. You're a good friend. You're a good friend.
I went on the cruise.
All right, let's look at an interesting running back 2 matchup right here. Leonard Fournette against Green Bay versus Frank Gore against Miami.
Revenge game.
You can look across the whole league, and this running back matchup is by far what I think the most just, dude, this is just desperation plays from both. Uh,
My running back's only getting 5. You're screwed. This is getting 8. It's what?
it's a funny matchup, but I mean, again, either one could score a touchdown.
Yeah.
That's
So
well, who's Tampa Bay going to use in the running game?
Ronald Jones looked
Ronald
really
Jones
good.
He did
last
look
week.
good, but then like 2 weeks ago, he put the ball on the ground. In comes Fournette, and he was just running over people. So
Fournette's looked good.
yeah,
in
I
his
mean that's my
opportunities.
thing. It's like
Why is he
Fournette got
projected
banged
to get
up and
5?
then wasn't.
Yeah.
didn't
Why is
play
he
well.
projected to get 5? Is there an injury that they won't put a full projection down on?
Fournette's still questionable. And Ronald Jones has had, I think, 100 yards 2 out of the last 3
But
games.
even if he does and they come back and say he's healthy, it can't jump up.
The Jets
7
just-
points from
It
5.
jumps up to maybe 8. It jumps up to
Right.
maybe what Frank
So it
Gore's
comes
projected.
level.
Yeah.
The fact that Frank Gore is projected to win a matchup at 64 years old as a running back is baffling.
So you're taking Frank Gore.
You have to, don't you?
He's the ageless one. Yes.
I thought he was going to say the Asian one.
I kind of feel like you have to take Frank Gore here too.
I'm the one that projected, I think, as soon as the Fournette signed with the Bucks, I said he would have been cut from that team by the end of the year. I don't think he's going to get cut now, but I do stand by the fact that I think Ronald Jones is still the one. And Brian wants me to be racist so bad.
I
So
really
bad.
thought he was going to say the Asian one. They do maintain health and wellness in their bodies deep in.
We call it vigor.
They might drink that.
We don't
put it in
call
with our
it that.
cucumbers.
Okay, just me. All right. Jake, what do you think about this matchup, dude?
I think it's really bad. I don't know. I mean,
Drugs are bad.
does the
No.
I guess the question I think we're all kind of thinking: do the Jets just say screw it, man? Like we're gonna be bad. We're gonna get the first overall pick, and like even when they're down by 21, they just sit there and kind of run it with Frank Gore because
That's what Cincinnati did last year with Joe Mixon. Like, hey, we want the number 1 overall pick. We're down by 20. Let's just keep running on first, second, third down.
Although he doesn't
know what
believe
I'm
in that,
saying?
remember? He doesn't believe in
I don't
that.
believe you intentionally try to lose games. No, I do not. Because there's too much money involved. You're playing for your job.
But is he even going to keep his job?
Who? Frank Gore? Maybe not. But Adam Gase is playing for his job.
Well, now-
Adam Gase is going to get fired unless they win games.
He knows
But let's stop right now. Is there any chance that they win enough games for him to save his job?
But you don't try to lose games to lose your job.
No, it's not about him.
That's what I was
saying.
saying. That is what I said.
I think
But
if they tell you there's a chance of you keeping your job if you just do what they tell you to do.
So you see Adam Gase, if they lose the rest of the season, that he has his job come next year.
No, I'd already.
How many
fired
years
him.
have been there, too?
I think
He's
he's about.
this is his
So
second
what
year.
if he does
He's got
get?
1 more year.
What if he does get fired? Do you think the person that comes in is just kind of like, I think they always want to try to put some energy back into it and try to get a game or so, but then, I mean,
Do
might
they
be
draft
like-
Lawrence?
All right.
Well, if he comes out, if I'm Trevor Lawrence and I see the Jets, I might stay in school another year.
Andrew Luck.
The way I look at it is
But it's New York.
Adam Gase is going to lose his job either way, I think. The ownership's probably telling him, hey, we know you want to win games, but
We
this
know.
is going to be the game plan. You run the ball a lot, and we won't fire you tomorrow. We'll let you stay out to the end of the season.
Because we're not
But
trying to
also,
win games.
we want to lose games because we want to have the chance to get that number 1 pick. And what's more appealing to the next head coach you're going to have come in? The 4th or 5th pick because you start winning games and you lose out on Trevor Lawrence or Justin Fields or Penny Sewell, whoever the top 5 pick is going to be? Or do you say, hey, we got the number 1 overall pick. You can pick whoever you want.
You just
That's
said
gonna be
a couple
more-
guys from college looking right at JT,
Yeah.
and he has no idea who he
That's
is.
going to be the more enticing play. For me, if I'm a head coach candidate and I've got a chance to go to the team that's got the 5 or 6 pick or the number 1 overall pick and I can pick whoever I want that number 1 overall pick.
get to build your program.
You
I
get
get that. I get that. But like players aren't like intentionally trying to lose.
No, the players are
They're-
not, but you got to play. You got to.
Coaches aren't
They
trying
don't
to
have
intentionally
Hold on.
lose.
players
I
that
don't
can
think they're
change it
intentionally
around.
trying to lose, but I think sometimes they shut the crap down. Like
Yeah,
Randy Moss in
they-
Oakland.
they can
Like,
definitely shut down.
So, like,
Who was the
you
game
think
changer
with-
with the
Well,
team?
let's talk about them releasing Bell, and like some of them were just kind of like, "What's the point?"
If we're gonna cut our best players, why should I try to hurt myself?
Yeah, I mean, this is my future. I'm talking about too. Like, as many injuries have happened already this year.
I set out a season to make a statement for this.
That's why Brown's.
So there's going to be a massive turnaround in New York next year. Like, it's going to be very different.
Well,
on
If they
offense
do
and
get the number
defense.
one pick,
Everywhere
Coaching,
Adam Gase leaves, they
offense,
do well.
defense.
Tannehill gets away from Adam Gase. He's fantastic.
Mhm.
Kenyon Drake last year got away from Adam Gase. He was fantastic.
But Miami still sucks.
Yeah.
Well, they're rebuilding.
Yeah, they don't have many of the same players that they. Devontae Parker looks fantastic without Adam Gase there.
Agreed.
Robbie
Fitzmagic.
Anderson got away from the Jets with Gase, and he looks fantastic. So it's something that guy's doing without Peyton Manning is not working. Either he's a terrible play caller, offense is poor, or he just has a poor environment that he has on his team that makes it terrible.
I think that's probably what it is, more so culture than anything else. And I don't see Adam Gase holding his job.
So get away from Adam Gase is basically the game plan.
Right. My thing is back to what he said. I don't think coaches try to intentionally lose games.
You
I
don't,
think
but
players try to intentionally lose games.
But
That's
coaches
my-
do have to listen to ownership and the management saying, hey, you're going to play it this certain way. Kind of like on Moneyball where that coach wanted to play this guy, and he's like, well, Billy Bean said, I'm just going to send him to the minors so you can't play him. I'm going to trade him so you can't play him.
I'm not
So-
a Billy Bean guy. I'm really not.
Well, he's gonna be working with the Red Sox owner.
I know, and I do not like that.
all right,
They're not going to work with the
let's get back to it.
But yeah, I think we have talked so much about Frank Gore, who is projected to only get 8.67 this week. But
Frank Gore, all
Frank
in.
Gore.
All in on Frank Gore.
Yeah.
All right, Ebron, Hooper, tight end matchup. Ebron playing Cleveland, Hooper playing Pittsburgh. Brian Roberts, Ebron, Hooper.
battle of the
Pick
tight
one.
ends in that
Pick
game.
one.
Ebron.
Ryan.
Give me Hooper. He's been trending up. And Ebron still has butterfingers, and it hurts me to say.
Jake.
I don't trust either one. Ebron.
Carolina
He
boy.
went to Carolina.
That boy.
I'll take Hooper just I don't
Just
know.
split
He's on the
them
right
down.
side.
Right.
Yeah.
You don't want that because you'd rather Kareem Hunt get most of that.
Or Odell, either way.
So
But
stop pulling for Hooper.
I'm not pulling for Hooper. I'm saying that Hooper has seen more targets last
JT's
couple
going to have
weeks.
bad,
So I've just seen it.
bad matchups because
Because I've been
he's
wa-
going to get 4 touchdowns.
I'd like to see Ebron catch a couple. That's just.
I've been watching a lot of Cleveland games. Never thought that happened. All right, flex matchup. You got Christian Kirk for Josh Broach, AutoBahn Time playing against Dallas Monday night versus Deebo Samuel Sunday night football against the Rams. Jake, who are you taking? Christian Kirk and Deebo Samuel.
Deebo. I think it's a bounce back week for the offense of San Francisco. That was a really bad performance. I think it's going to try to be a little statement. Kirk's kind of up and down. I had him at the beginning of the year and dropped him. He did not start the year very well. I think he's had one game over 10 points.
Yeah, that was last week.
Yeah.
He's I think he's
10.3.
like 9 and 10 last
Yeah.
couple weeks.
So I don't trust it. And I think that Debo's a big play guy.
I mean, Debo's actually starting to get healthy and getting incorporated back in the offense.
Yeah.
And like I said, like you said about the bounce back game, I think San Fran might have a pretty good game, man. It's prime time.
So are you taking Debo?
I'm taking Debo.
Okay.
I
Brian,
mean, it's
who-
like
They're
a
both
both
ridiculous. Completely wrong. It's going to be Christian Kirk.
it's gonna be Christian Kirk.
Yeah. No doubt.
You're facing Kyler Murray.
No,
He
No,
is. He's
it's
got
not.
Kyler Murray.
I know.
but no, it's going to be Christian Kirk. It's not going to be close
All right, and why is that?
because Debo sucks. San Fran sucks. They don't know what they're doing now. It's like they're in a whirlwind going downhill. And Debo has, healthy or not, sucked when he's been on the field.
Okay. I think that San Fran will stop the bleeding a little bit this week. I'm not saying they win this game, but I don't think they lose it like they did last week. So I'm going to take Debo as well.
They're not playing Fitzmagic.
God, Jake brought that up the other night. Blew my mind.
All right, lastly, we have our defensive matchup. Pittsburgh playing Cleveland, Indy playing Cincinnati. We'll make this quick. Who you got?
Indy.
I'm going Indy. as well.
Yeah, I think that's going to be unanimous.
Indy.
Even though I do think those are 2 of the 3 best defenses in the league right now.
Yeah,
If you add
Pitts-
Baltimore.
Yeah.
But
Pittsburgh.
Cleveland's good.
Yeah, Cleveland
Cincy
is.
sucks.
Cleveland's better than I anticipated they would be.
And they don't turn the ball over a ton. Cleveland doesn't.
Nah, because they're not throwing it that much.
No. But Pittsburgh is a stifling defense. But I'm going to go Indy just off the matchup.
All right, so that's unanimous, Indy.
Yep.
All right. Our matchup of the week. Picks. Brian, Josh Broach, AutoBahn Time versus Steve Reitmeyer of Bye Week. Who are you taking?
I feel like I sided more with Reitmeyer going down the list, but I just feel like Birch is going to find a way to win this one.
Okay. So you're taking Broach.
Yeah.
All right. Ryan.
I'm taking Reitmeyer.
Jake.
Steve.
Thank you, Jake.
Looking at this, I did take most of Reitmeyer's team as well. So I'm going to go Reitmeyer.
Yep.
Things got some good matchups. All right. So 3-1 matchup of the week. Taking Reitmeyer versus Josh Broach. That will conclude us on our Week 6 fantasy football matchup preview of the Fantasy Football 5. Any last words, gentlemen?
No, enjoy your weekend.
Love only means nothing in tennis.
You got something? Can you top that?
Dude, that's deep.
I can't either. We'll see you guys next time.